Let's go. Are we actually on? You're here listening with Kayla
and Georgia,
bringing you real, raw and relatable chats on the Evolve to Thrive podcast.
Stay tuned because shit's about to get juicy as we dive into all things health, fitness, life and relationships.
Let's go. Woo. On today's episode, we are diving deeper into the relationship segment since you all seem to love our third episode about dating in the modern era. So with the relevance of our current relationship status, that is being single as fuck, we thought we'd jump on and discuss the fluorescent red flags that we've come to realize throughout our time of dating, the situationships we've fallen into, and some funny dating fails we've encountered along the way.
There's been a few.
Oh, dear Lord. We're going to talk a little bit about our own dating experiences and some of the biggest icks we've experienced. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. How are we all?
I'm actually in a great mood, surprisingly. It just happens to be every Thursday when I'm like excited to see you all.
Can I talk now? You're going to fucking introduce me, or do I just awkwardly stand off camera?
So today we have the incredible Mr. Peter.
Hello. Use my last name as well, that's fine.
Peter Bonnici.
Peter Bonnici.
Bonnici, got it right.
Bonnici.
Yeah.
The man behind the camera is...
Yeah, I'm usually in that corner for people
We
watching.
tried to bring him
over there.
on a couple of weeks ago, but he refused. So
I don't think I refused. I think I was unbecoming. I was in trackies and I just trained. I hadn't showered.
Yeah, true. And we laid it on you last minute too, so...
That's fine. That's okay.
But he's made himself look super pretty tonight. He's dolled himself up.
Shirted up.
But this is how I am at workplaces when I can be casual.
I
so
love
you just got
that.
lucky that it was
Smart
a casual
casual.
work day. Yeah.
Attire
This
tonight.
Love it.
Smart casual lumberjack.
I even put some
Or
jeans
lumberjack.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
No, these are flannels, but it's like that, the lumberjack patterns. I forget how young you are sometimes. It's
I don't even know.
How
the
old
red
are
and
you?
black tartan. I'm 35.
Oh, you're an old boy.
Yeah.
You're an old boy.
Yeah. I'm like, no. Can we do
no.
this? Can we do this? You guys
Yes,
want to break?
let's do it.
Yes.
Peter has bought us. We actually got here.
Brought?
Okay.
Brought? Someone
'Cause you already
brought
had
it
it.
for me and I brought it upstairs.
Hey, English. Wait, it sounds like I'm farting every time I move on.
If
It
you
doesn't
hear a
come through on the
fart,
mic, so we
it's
would've been the
definitely
only-
Kayla's guts.
No, they're good. They're good today until I have some wine. Have
She's fucking cleared out the studio a few times, I think.
She actually has.
Yeah.
I?
Yeah, you have. There's been a couple of episodes, and you're like, at the end of it, I'm exposing you right now.
I was going to say,
This
this
is
is
all
news
gone.
to me. Nah, it's probably true.
I'll pour this out. While you guys talk about what we're supposed to be talking about.
But first of all, when we first came here, Peter has got us some Pinot Noir.
Noir.
Yeah, it's where are
Favorite
we?
red, by the way.
Yeah.
Is that Saint Earth from Geelong? 2022.
It
It's
is.
probably not going to be that much.
Delicious. Kayla's tracked this into her cows. So
Just fellow making sure we're being
Also,
adherent.
what would actually be a glass for you? Is that too much?
That is
way
oh my
too
God,
much.
that's more than
That's
150
mine.
That's
mils. I need it to be weighed
half of
out,
that?
please. 150 mils of wine
Yeah,
I have
so-
tracked
yeah.
for.
What's
So,
your eye like
Peter-
for liquid tracking?
that would
Is that
be, let me have a look.
150?
That'd be a bit more. I'll have that because that'd be a bit
Yeah,
more.
Yeah?
let's go less. Let's
Put it
go.
on
know
here
what?
and let me
Also,
Do you
know.
we're
want to
trying-
pour it?
You pour it and I'll tell you when.
Go to low.
Alright.
All right, he's pouring. So yes, I
Where's the
have
straw on my laptop?
tracked
Slow,
this
slow.
just to make sure.
A bit more.
You're
Just
more?
Splash more.
Nah,
Splash more.
oh.
Nah, splash more for her.
Splash. He's gonna go. Oh no,
Do a splash. Yeah, that's a perfect splash.
Yeah.
that is a perfect. one. We should.
I didn't even get. Oh, we did.
What?
Cheers, guys.
Oh, cheers.
This is the first time we're having a drink together in what?
Oh, no
4
shit.
months.
And it's
Oh my
eye
God.
contact or 7 years
Eye
bad
contact.
sex. Yeah.
But I could,
Always
Eye
when
contact.
you cheers, eye contact or stuff. Mate, I can't afford that. We just got engaged.
7
It's
years
not
of
well,
fun.
bad
make sure you
luck.
eye
It's gonna be-
contact. Go.
I already did.
You haven't sipped it. You're not even making eye contact. You're having bad sex
It's on the
first. You're like,
cheers.
sorry,
It's on
Amy.
the cheers. Not that you're scaring me now. I lost the lid for the fucking.
No, that's it. You've lost the
don't
lid and now
need
you've got bad
That's
sex
it,
for
we're out of
7
control.
years.
All right.
At least you
Anyway.
two will be able to finish that bottle. I'll
I'm not
sit here
finishing
with
that
my
at
just
all.
one.
No,
Anyway,
we
should
can
we-
between
Guys,
us.
we're driving.
Ooh, that's it. We're responsible adults here.
Yes.
Should we get straight into our segment of our craving or tip of the week?
My
Yeah.
craving has now been satisfied since my craving, no joke.
Cheers, brah.
Cheers,
Fucking
brother.
Cheers to that.
So my craving this week, I'm not joking, I had mentally prepared that my craving was a red wine, specifically a Pinot Noir. And
she's
can I just
classy.
say, yeah, motherfucker.
A
Anyway,
mother.
now it's been satisfied. So yeah.
Was there cheese in that too, though? Because I feel like, as soon as we sipped this, I was like, I could do some biscuits and some
Oh yeah,
cheese.
Oh, really?
The girls in
Some
conference.
olives.
It's not
Yeah.
happening, but yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Stop that.
See
Okay,
how
that's what I'm
but
craving.
see-
Yep, that's what I'm
See
craving.
how it's like it's a whole thing. Like once you start with wine, there's like anyway. This is the old man stuff. I'm like,
This is our
Oh,
little
do you know
date
what's
night.
Do you know what would be
food.
good with this? Is those honey soy crisps.
yes,
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Like the chocolate coated ones
From
that
the
you're talking
scoop and
about.
way. From the scoop and way. Can't keep me away from
Well
the scoop and
played.
way.
Well played.
So what are you craving? You're tipping this week then, Georgia.
For once, not for once, but the last couple of weeks haven't been food. So this is a tip of the week. I'm a bit late to the 8 ball, but my friend Kath,
the 8 ball.
get your mind out of a gutter, will ya? My friend Kath recommended me. So you know the
I'm a cunt. I'm sorry.
now I've lost my train of thought.
It's my fault.
You're something about
7-Eleven app.
yeah.
So if you download the 7-Eleven app and how you can
Find the cheapest petrol.
what's it called when you?
It's finding the cheapest petrol as well.
I've literally lost my train. You've
I know,
got my mind
I know.
going elsewhere.
I'm a naughty
You
man.
are a naughty boy.
It's not even like the full wine.
But yeah, download the 7-Eleven app and you can price match. That's what I was looking for. Price match petrol. So you can find the cheapest petrol in the area
Yeah.
and get cheap
What's
petrol.
the cheapest at the moment? Because I'm
I need petrol now.
I think it's depending on what the area you're from. So it'll scan like a few areas around you and it'll be like you can punch in the cheapest one and then you can go to your local one and pay that
I wonder
price.
if I put in Maribyrnong versus Werribee and if it's different.
probably will
I'd
be.
say Maribyrnong would be more expensive.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go fill up in Werribee tomorrow.
Can you
On my
make
way
it?
home from
Can you
work.
make it? You're going to play the game?
How far can you
Well,
push it?
yeah, yeah.
Do you know how far? Do you know one time I was driving my mum's car because I got into a car accident. So mum let me borrow her car, and then she only had probably 10 Ks left in her car. So let's see how far we can push it. Went down a one-way street, pulled up to the traffic light, and what happened?
And it died.
Dies.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
get
Dies
fucked.
one-way street. You can imagine, like. And this nice Indian guy got out, pushed my car to the side, went and bought me petrol, came back, and like got me out of the situation. But you can imagine one-way street, people are like,
Dear Lord.
Just for context, if you're a guy, you know what happens? Nothing. You fucking go and do it yourself and come back, and then
Yep.
no one's come
No
over
one's
and
helping you.
fucking awkwardly said, "I'll just do everything for you. It's fine."
well, because I got out and there was so many people bipping and everyone's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just a little girl.
Help me.
I'm
Help me. I'm poor.
Help me, I'm poor.
Did we cover your craving? Because you said petrol.
I'm craving petrol. No, price match. That's my tip. Download the
Tip
7-Eleven
is
app
Ah, tip.
and
Okay,
price match
okay.
so you can get cheaper petrol because petrol ain't cheap.
It's crazy.
So
That's
what's
crazy.
yours?
Oh, my
Tip or craving?
tip,
Don't say
tip of the
April.
week is don't ever drive more than an hour to work a day. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been covering. It's one of the best gigs I've ever had. Lovely toy company.
You need to talk to us about this and the
Yeah.
food that you've been getting and all the great things.
Yeah, well, they're this multi-billion-dollar toy company that operate out of Australia, and but the only thing is, I've been driving an hour and 20 every day.
To
up,
where? What
and
area?
An hour and 20 back. Elstonwick. So don't ever get a job where you have to drive that far. I burnt out in was this
An hour
a month?
20 to Elstonwick.
How many?
Yeah, in the morning, think of the traffic, the tunnel.
Elstonwick.
Yeah.
So how much petrol are you using?
That's
per
that's why
week?
it
You need
made
the
me think about it.
7-Eleven app.
I've only been doing like a tank a week anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, that's all right.
But yeah,
that's what I do.
yeah.
God.
Because it's all freeway. So,
So
you're
yeah,
not, you know,
don't drive.
don't get jobs that are far away
Yeah.
unless they're amazing.
Work for yourself. Work remotely. Let's just say that.
Agreed. Remote work, please.
All right, but guys, we need to get into the episode
We do.
of our dating life. Hey, so
Important stuff.
Let's start with Peter.
Peter,
How
dating
is
life.
the engaged life?
It's really good. The sex gets a lot better.
better.
Yeah, it gets
I
way
love
naughtier.
that.
Yeah. For some reason. I don't know why, but it
Really?
does. Yeah. No one told me this. They were like, I had the conversation with friends just before we got engaged. I'm like, do you still feel the same? They're like, yeah, it's like, it's good. You have that thing, but you're just getting engaged. So, we're still dating. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the sex just took a right turn and just amped up to 11. So
Is that because she's like, fuck, I need to make sure this is good because it's the only thing
no,
I'm
there's
getting
like a
for the rest
deeper
of my
connection.
life.
So it's just like you feel
This
safer.
is the only dick I'm getting
Yeah.
now. Let's just
It
spice
better be
things up.
good.
Thanks for pissing all over my moment, Kayla. No, yeah, you do feel more connected. So
Oh,
I love that.
We get back to emotional. I love
That
it.
makes my heart feel just
Yeah.
cuddled.
yeah, it's dope. I
Yeah.
strongly recommend it.
I strongly recommend to
We
get
need to
engaged.
get a guy to like us tonight.
Yeah, that's why we're here. That's why you've
If
got me
I
on the
could actually
podcast.
keep a guy, that would be fucking fantastic.
Do you want to maybe tell them why I'm on the podcast in the first place?
Oh, we're just rambling and we
That's
haven't even
fine.
gone into that.
Yeah.
Peter is here to help us talk about our relationships because Peter has his own relationship podcast.
Irrelevant Plattitudes at Platt Pod
Yeah,
on
let's
Instagram for
just
everyone
test
listening.
So we're going to be talking about red flags, situationships, updates on our icks, big icks, funny icks, covering all things to do with relationships.
And just general fucking annoying dating shit.
Yeah, and funny relationship stuff. Not relationship, dating stuff.
Yeah. Because we don't want to take it too seriously because it's life, man. Just
That's
enjoy
it.
it.
That's
Relatable.
it.
Enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're loving engaged life.
Engaged life is fantastic.
Kayla, what about you? You're definitely not engaged.
Your
Tell us
engaged
about
life,
that.
man.
So what are you talking about? I'm gonna
If you start with my engaged sex, I'm going to ruin you now.
So my dating life, well, previously I've said it's non-existent. I went a really long time of not dating recently.
How long? Couple months?
3 to 4 months of
My
not dating.
God. Yeah, that's
Like that's a lot.
self-imposed, I'm guessing.
Yeah, completely. I just I had a few bad experiences and
It'll do it to ya.
and it just turned me off. I was like, my time is valuable and precious and I'm sick and tired of putting myself out there and having a few great dates for then it to just turn to shit. And then I'm like, why do I do this? Like, why do I date? So I just got the ick, literally, in general with dating.
From dating.
I literally got
I
the
got
ick
it from dating by dating.
Yeah. And which Georgia knows, the previous dude that I was dating back in Queen. When was that? When did we? April. So after
comp?
April,
Yeah,
after April, I like went ick of dating. So from April,
That even gave me. Hadn't even met him, and that gave me the ick.
yeah.
This was the shikik thing.
Shakik, yeah, Shakik.
We're not getting into it
No.
yet. But yeah, or
One dodge.
Let's just drop
We're
that.
going to have a dodge counter in the bottom. It's gonna be like, questions dodged by Kayla. 1.
Yeah, literally.
So anyway, that made me go, I'm just a little bit off dating. I'm not really interested at the moment. And also I'm in prep. So I'm very,
Yeah, I think you said like you really can't date when you're kind of in that
you
space.
really naturally become a lot more
A
selfish.
couple of your other
with your
guests said that
time.
too. They're like when they're competing. The other guy that did the food was like he couldn't.
Yeah,
He was the
Zach.
worst with
Zach,
his
yeah.
missus. Yeah.
You just become so much more selfish with your time and you don't realize you're like, oh, I could go on a date. But also dating is harder when you're in prep because
You can't
it's like,
do anything.
my idea of a date is like going out for a wine and having a drink somewhere at a bar or, you know, a walk and a coffee date. Cool, no worries. But like eventually you want to just have a bit of fun with that person and usually it involves food and
Doesn't it?
drinking. Now, this is where I've become a little bit more creative with dating and trying to find other ways to date.
Yeah.
But again, when it gets to the weekend now, I just want to chill. I want to go for a sauna. I want to, you know, do my shit
How's that impacting dating now? So like
with not going out
with-
drinking and
with
stuff.
but with the scope, you're like constricted to what you can do.
Yep.
How does that go with the dudes that you date? Because
That's
you
what
can
I
kind of
mean.
only date
Well,
fit dudes now.
Remember, literally,
or who understand the lifestyle.
I almost
Yeah.
need to date a guy who completely gets that I track my macros
Yeah.
and that I will track absolutely everything to the gram at the moment.
Do you ever see yourself in a space where like you just need someone that gets that you're going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
They might think it's because obviously Amy used to compete and stuff and whatever. She's like way healthier than I am, even though like obviously I'm trying to cut weight and all that sort of stuff. I was thinking about this the other day and I'm like, for the life of me, she loves being outdoors and stuff. And I'm a massive nerd. Like, look at this fucking room, right? I think it's just about respecting it because there's sometimes I'm like, I don't want to go for a fucking walk. She's like, but it's
100%.
lovely outside. I'm like, I know, but have you seen what I've got on the TV? Like,
Yeah.
so I think if you can get dudes that respect it but aren't super into it, because we can touch on this later. So I think with
100%.
the
I
get
history,
that.
the dating history,
Yeah.
I think dudes that get it might not be the right guys.
I know what you're saying because we spoke about this. We're not into gym bros. Like Georgia and
Anymore.
I are not. I'm
Bad experience.
by far not for me.
No, what we're going to say is like we've spoken about this before. Like I was seeing someone throughout my prep, even my last prep, and he understood it. Like he's into his gym, but he was not. Like
He wasn't in comp prep either.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't a gym bro and wasn't like didn't track all his stuff. So if you have someone that you just understands it and supports it, you can still date.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause,
right.
Look, I think probably 85% of guys will train to look good naked. But it's
Yeah.
like that small of that 80%, like 5 that are obsessed and fucking
Yeah.
you know, are on gear and stuff and doing it all properly and whatever.
It's also filtering through. I previously was in a situation where I was willing to just have sex with people and like just
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
Nothing wrong with
like,
that.
that
I want
was
to play my sound effects when you say shit like that. I like that.
Yeah.
like there was a period of time where that's all I wanted, and I didn't want to date for emotional connection.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
How did you go? Like, because there's the oxytocin release and stuff that will make you kind of get connected to someone.
yeah.
Did you find it was happening anyway? You're still like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
because I think naturally, eventually, and this is exactly what happened previously, I would have, you know, guys where I would be seeing somebody and it was purely just physical, and that was fine. It was convenient. It was easy. We got along, and I'm always about like have a friendship with that person still.
Yep.
You just know what I mean?
That's
like,
good.
Like
That's good. It's not
have
common.
someone that's just physical but respect me as well. You know what I mean? Like,
I fucking hope so.
But
yeah.
you can also disrespect me at the same time.
That's exactly. It's kind of hot sometimes.
Nah, I've changed. Respect me, mate.
But I think if you're going into a situation like that, knowing that you're not going to get attached, it's easier.
It's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
But I think it gets to, for women, it gets to a certain point. Like if you're sleeping with them like once, twice
Yeah, it's
a
like
week,
a time bomb.
Yeah, it's like you get to 2 months down the track,
You are fucked.
you forget it.
Yeah.
You're too far in.
I have a big story on this. I was literally sleeping with a guy for 2 years, physically, casually.
That's basically dating.
Yeah. And then it got to the whole, brought up the conversation. Okay, so we've kind of been sleeping together for like 2 years.
Jesus.
And
Yeah.
it took me 2 years to catch feels.
How'd the conversation go? when you said that?
I'm in the same exact situation, but I was like, I was seeing someone for 4 years and the opposite. He was like, okay, so what are we? I'm like, But 4 years.
Oh
we were
my! So we
sleeping
have
on
both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Alright. So how did your conversation go with him when he said that?
Okay, so it got to the point where he was coming over regularly,
Yeah.
like more than twice a week or so.
Yeah.
But like cooking each other dinner, doing stuff like that,
You're
going
dating.
for walks.
That's proper dating.
We're going for walks the next day. He was
Jesus.
sleeping over, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, so clearly this is not just one-sided. Like clearly this is more than physical now.
Yep.
And don't deny it because I know it's reciprocated. Like how I feel is reciprocated. And he just went quiet and he was kind of like, I'm not denying
This is
the
in
fact-
person, yeah, not over text.
Yeah, this was in person.
Oh fuck! He just
And he was
stopped
like,
speaking.
no, sorry.
No, it's all right.
He said in person, yeah, there's no denying it, but there wasn't much to be had in the conversation. Anyway, then the
Ew.
following thing happened where he just went real awkward and through text. Like after he had left that encounter,
Yeah.
the conversation died. He wasn't messaging me. He wasn't
Whoa.
reaching out, and he just completely went off the place of the earth.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And then I
after
was
2
and
years, 4 years.
2 years, 2 years. And
Your
then
4
I was
years.
like, look,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Why'd you go weird? And then he was just kind of like I had to keep my distance because I knew that it wasn't going to eventuate. Anyway, this guy ended up in a long-term relationship.
That
Do you know
always
what's baffling?
stings.
It's like,
Like
I feel
literally several months later. Like
Yeah.
this is a repeated cycle.
But
for
do you know
me.
what the thing is? It's like I've had multiple conversations with my brother and some of my guy friends about this. Is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but guys can sleep with women and have no emotional connection to them, and
Yeah.
it just be purely sex.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you don't have that conversation with them earlier on or set boundaries very early on, they'll just keep continuing to see you and see you and see you and get away with it if they can.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Look, it's a not if we can. It's if the sex is good and like the hanging out with you is good.
Yeah. They can keep
but
doing
maybe
that.
there's not like a relationship there. Like you're probably not going to meet my
Well,
family and
the
stuff.
funny thing is I was the one that put those walls up from day dot.
Yeah.
I was the one that was like, I will never date you. Like I literally said
You
this
are
to him.
dead to me.
I was like,
Look, 2 years is a fair effort though
massive fuck
of not
boy.
dating.
Yeah. Were you guys sleeping with anyone else at the time?
I think like yes and no.
You would have for 2 years and it to be that weird.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
for
I was
sure.
definitely sleeping with other people.
Yeah.
But so was he.
Yeah, you
But
wanted
we
to
were,
kinda
we
dial
were
it,
fine
yeah.
about that. But the thing is that fart noise.
We'll come through that one for sure.
Was that a fart?
I felt that through the floor.
Was that a fart?
No, it was
She
the
slid off the
chair.
chair.
Kayla's dropping her guts.
It's definitely the chair. But I was the one that was so firm on this is purely physical. I will never date you. And then he apparently was like, well, you told me that nothing would ever be serious. So
yeah, and that's fair on him.
Yeah.
To say that.
So that's where that all eventuated. But anyway, I wanted to bring it up because I feel like that is a repeat in relation to the summary of my dating.
Yeah.
That is the repeated cycle. The theme is I date someone.
Then they lock down.
I date someone casually. And it gets to the point, and this has literally happened to me about 4 times.
Yeah.
Where I've been seeing somebody and they end up, we get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, you're basically like living at my house, bro. Like,
yeah. yeah.
We're pretty much engaged.
I'm sorry, but like we're doing things. I've been in 2 long-term relationships.
Yeah.
This is dating.
Yeah.
Like you can deny it all you want, but this is dating. You just don't want to put a label on it.
Yes.
That is all it is.
Most guys don't.
And as soon as the conversation gets brought up.
Because we're logical. We can use that as like a fallback.
As soon as the conversation gets brought up, okay, so where is this progressing?
Yeah.
They ghost or they just piss off. And then like literally 2 months later, they're in another long-term relationship.
Were they all similar personality types?
They would be.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Why do you think guys are so like, why do you think guys don't want to have a label? Why are they so scared to?
Well, it's because you
commit?
guys are dating a bit younger, right? So
I always
like
say older.
mid-20s. Yeah, but
I always
what
say
would that
older
skew to,
too.
like 30 tops?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
30,
I guess
35.
for reference, like I'd only had 2 serious relationships up until 32, I'd say.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just not the space that we were in at that age. So
Fair.
I better not be sending my shit off. When you're that young, I think you're going out so much and you're still in the like bro
I
kind
am
of group.
an absolute hermit, but
The boy, yeah, and that's no, but that's
For
good.
guys.
yeah, for guys, yeah.
That's really good for like your late 30s because that's where guys kind of stop going out. Like I dropped off completely about 34, I'd say, going out.
Yeah.
You're just doing so much that relationships, they're not inconvenient, but they don't marry up with the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong.
Because
There's
guys
heaps of my friends that have been in relationships the entire time we did all of that as well.
Yeah.
So there's edge cases, but the majority, I think, enjoy just going out, not having commitments. Like, because you do feel like a piece of shit. Like if you go out, I've been in relationships where they've wanted to go home and they said no, stay, and then I've just gone on a bender.
Yeah.
And like you feel like an
Yeah.
asshole
Yeah.
afterwards, but you're like, you said do it, and then I'm a selfish prick, so I did it.
Oh,
Now
no.
it's
Yeah.
I'm
so you
really
just
good
kind
like
of take
that.
what you can get. So you don't want to be in a relationship because then there's more problems
Yeah.
anyway. So you just you stay away from it for as long
But
as
is it also just because they want the best of both worlds?
that's what ultimately it feels like you kind of dip your toe in whatever you can because you're not tied down to anything. And I think that's very important. Like you don't want to be in something too early, and when you're not ready, get married, have kids, and then you're 35 and you're like, fuck, we've got kids that are like 3 and like now I'm fucking stuck.
Yeah.
And then you just see a road and explode.
Because guys,
So I prefer that instead of the other one.
guys most of the time know almost instantly whether they want to actually commit to
Correct. And that's it. The big flag for me was usually after the first time you sleep with someone, there's 2 feelings. There's get the fuck out of my house or, oh my God, she's amazing. It's one of 2 ways.
Yeah.
And it's never gone any other way.
Really? Yeah.
And it's literally like you feel like the biggest asshole because you're like, I thought I liked her. It's not the post-nut clarity thing is not premeditated.
Yeah.
Up until you guys start fucking and even right up until you blow. Like you are like, this is fantastic. She's awesome. And something just happens when something's missing. After that's done and there's no actual connection, you're like, oh, I've been hoodwinked. This wasn't real. I just needed to fuck.
Yeah.
You feel really bad. And a lot of guys can't kind of verbalize that. And you're just like, I don't know. I'm just not into you. And you're like, they were. And then there wasn't that connection.
Are you saying that you're a bad root then, and that's why they leave?
So, but remember, sex is 2 ways though, right?
But
You
men and women process it very differently too.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
But no, I want to go back to the sex thing, right? You can have some of the worst sex I've ever had is with the people that you would think would be amazing. And objectively, like, this isn't tooting my own horn. It's like, it's not something I'm retarded at. It's like dancing, right? Like, you can dance really well on your own. You can dance really well with certain partners, but if you don't have a rhythm with someone, you can't dance with them.
100%.
So it's
This makes sense.
the connection between the 2 of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the sex is just shit between you 2, not she's not a bad root, I'm not a bad root. we just can't have good sex together.
And you know, like
The sex can also be good, and then you can come and then just be like, oh, personality's fucked. Like, there's certain things that like people do, like I think for me, like super like 120% energy to me is really, really cool on the outset, and then afterwards you're like, does she relax ever? Like, is this a thing?
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me for a long time.
I'm just laughing because that's me.
No.
I was literally thinking like, this is Kayla offering that
No.
24/7.
No, but you have ceilings, right? Like, you know when to be cool and when not to be. You do.
No, you do.
I actually
You do.
don't.
There are people, not just women, in this world that are 120% all the time. Like, you'd wake up the next day and be like, she fucking wakes up like that, man.
No, that's actually that's my red flag, guys. Owned it. That's
But you just need, so you would
But
need
you know
a
what?
guy that can
There's
chill
guys
with that.
Yeah, there's guys that will 100% take all of that on. All of that on. What about those
But you
guys
would
that
never change who you are.
Fuck
That's
no.
ridiculous.
No. What
But
about
at least I identify if a cunt's grumpy in the morning, probably not going to be a high energy girl type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a root and boot type of
All
situation.
right, I need some high energy then.
What about those situations where like the woman's personality is really good and the sex
Yes.
is good, but they just still don't want to commit?
The girl doesn't want to commit to you.
As in the guy doesn't want to commit.
I would beg to differ that you're not being told the full truth. Because if the sex is off the wall and she's fucking amazing and like objectively like she ticks all the boxes and whatever, there've been wars fought over women. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if it's all of the things, any man will be like, sweet, I'm done. See you later. Like there's something that you're not being told, or there's something that you can't pick, that he can't pick.
Yeah.
And again, like because they're a bit younger, you might be dating dudes that are super low EQ. So they might not even fucking know. Oh, I just went to sleep
right.
because we haven't moved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh, are we still recording?
We are still recording.
Uh-oh.
Wake up. So.
Yeah, so that's interesting because
And you know what the thing is too, it's like we always say this. Like energy does not lie.
no, it doesn't.
Like regardless of what situation you're in, whether it's a relationship, whether you're having sex with someone, you can just feel whether there's a true, genuine connection
Yeah.
or like whether
So have you thought maybe you've had it and it's not there?
This is my point. There's been times where I've had like insane emotional and sexual chemistry with someone and then it just stops randomly.
I think it might be, so you might feel it, but it might not be reciprocated. Like dudes are really good at like not giving much and that feeling like it's okay. So like
But
you
what
might
if
have
they
that
feel
vibe.
like? What if you feel like they are giving a lot though?
what I think,
Yeah.
because I've been in this situation too, where it's like you feel like everything's being reciprocated and you feel like you're on the same page, but really you're actually not. You're
Yeah.
You're saying I'm delirious.
No, because I've been in the same
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
You're so caught
I
up
have
in
too,
this. You're so caught up
100%.
in this feeling, and you're so addicted to this feeling.
Yes.
You actually haven't
You're chasing it.
Yeah, you haven't taken a step back to be like, okay, like there's a red flag here. There's a red flag here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes you're just caught up in the heat of like what's going on.
And even if you're like, a big one is if you're really enjoying the sex.
Yeah.
And then they might not be fully, because you might not be fully aware of it. It's hard to know what's going on in people's minds, to be honest.
yeah.
And then you think it's fine and you think it's fucking sick every single time. And then you're like, but then you find out from someone later, you're like, nah, she didn't really vibe. You're like, really? All right. Fuck me then.
I'll just go
Like,
fuck myself then.
Yeah, like literally, I'll get better, I swear. Just fucking give me one more chance. Please.
That's funny. That's
yeah.
funny. All right. Well, what about Georgia? Talk about your dating situation and like previous stories.
Or situation.
My situation.
Situation.
Well, I've been in a situation like that too, where I was on the opposite end, where I was like seeing a guy on and off, and it lasted 4 years. And he was trying to make something happen. He was 10 years older than me.
Jesus.
And this has probably happened.
What was like, so you were 20 and he was 30?
Yeah, I was probably 23, 24. And he was
35.
Yeah, and he was ready to lock it down and like have kids, be serious. I'm like, I'm 23, I'm 24. Like I think
That's a good judgment on your part. A dude that's like 35.
dating a
is like-
23-year-old.
But not just dating, because that's fun as fuck. But let's get married and have children. You're like, dude, she's a full decade younger than you.
That's weird.
Yeah, I was very
What?
young. Even mental, like thinking about myself back then, like I was so mentally young.
Oh, yeah.
Like anytime, it's funny because anytime he would try and have a serious, in-depth or vulnerable conversation, I would shut off and I'd be like, mm-mm. Like I was so just immature and just not ready for that. But this situation dragged on for 4 fucking years because sex was good and like hanging around it was good. But I was just like, I'm 23, 24. Like I'm
luring him around.
I was just about to go to America and live to America, and then we're still chatting when I was living over there, and then I came back. We saw each other and hung out again, and he was still just like, "Come on, like, what are you doing? Like, let's lock it down."
But then you've also had situations where it's the opposite.
I've been in more situations.
She's really trying to deny that as well.
No, like, don't leave me on this on my own. I told you I've done the same shit.
No, I'm not denying that at all. I've been on the other end. That's why I was laughing at it, because I've been on the other end where that's what I've wanted and I haven't got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How shit is it when, because this is what happens, right? You get attention from people, guys, that you don't want. They stick around, they leech on, and they are so obsessed, and they just want all of your attention.
Won't take no for an answer.
And they don't take no for an answer. And it gives you the ick, right?
Yeah.
And you're like,
how much is too much for, because I'm guessing you guys have guys listening.
It's clearly when it comes to, I'm just not that interested in you.
So you would take 50 million text messages from a guy that you like, and it's just more if the connection's not where it should be.
I don't make the time. I don't make the
text
effort.
me time.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'll reply to that later. Whereas if I'm really interested in someone, I'll reply straight away, regardless of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Regardless of how busy I am, I'll make the effort to.
And you know, generally, like
50,000 guys on the podcast just died inside. Like,
fuck. How many?
She hasn't lost her phone. She's not in Africa. She just doesn't want to reply.
She actually wasn't busy.
I'm just not that into you. But to anyone listening, that might be them. Then I'm also getting rejected at the same time. So like
that's very like it happens.
It happens both ways. Like there's a number of guys that sounds really bad.
No.
In the past where I'm just like, I'm just not that interested, so I don't put the effort in.
Yeah.
But then there's times I'm like, fuck, I found someone that I really like and I've just been full rejected and like they don't want to be with me and they're clearly in another relationship with someone else.
Can we just talk about how like rejection, how it never gets easier?
No, it doesn't.
It never gets easier. Like it's actually the worst feeling to be rejected.
It's horrible.
Isn't it? And like
this is the one good thing with a guy, like you get used to rejection fairly early on.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't think
well,
so.
because this is what I was going to say, because
not that they handle it well, but trust me, we've had it happen since fucking 18, even earlier. If you're one of the fucking geniuses that does it when you're in high school and approach people and like realize she'll tell me to fuck off.
Because you know what? Like as bad as this is, most of the time, generally speaking, women can have whoever they want because you have a lot more options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and then guys don't have that, and then when they try and pursue women, most of the time they're going to get rejected.
Correct.
So they've been brought up to get used to it.
Well, it's just a natural part of it.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's like DOMs when you train. You're like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen when I do it.
But then for women, it's like us knowing that we can pick and choose whoever we want.
So when they're rejected,
the moment you get rejected, you're like, what the fuck's wrong with me? You're right what?
Yeah.
That's literally true.
And given that your emotional circuitry is a lot more evolved than ours as well. So you literally feel more than guys do.
And
so
I'm a Cancer, mate. I have all the feels.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Exactly. So like not only do you not get it often, but you get it worse. Like it's the period pains of dating. Like you just get that.
It is. It is.
It's not fun. And look, as a dude, you do kind of, it's easier because you're like, that's fine. Like there's a strong, the majority of the chance is that she'll say no. And I'm just giving her an opportunity to be like, hey, yep, you're not a piece of shit.
Giving her an opportunity to correct herself.
Yeah. To realize there's a diamond standing in front of her right now.
Isn't it so funny? Unless I have like insane chemistry with somebody, I just don't pursue it. And
That's the best
nip
way
it
to be. What do you mean? Why is that bad?
I nip it in the no, but because I often get asked like, why are you single? Or like, how are you, like I actually get asked, how are you single? Like I get complimented on my personality a lot.
Yeah.
But then I get asked, how is someone like you single? Like,
would you like a story time from a Christmas 3 years ago?
Go for it.
Let's hear it.
Being I'm in the middle of my family now. I used to be the youngest. But I should be married with children in terms of a WOG family, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got that one Christmas is like, you date all these women and you bring them to Christmas. It's been 3. Like, anyway. They're like,
why aren't you married?
Yeah, like, look at, your cousins and this and that and like, what are you doing sort of thing. And I just put it to them, quite frankly, because I was a little bit drunk and I didn't. It's that constant pressure in WOG households.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah.
I said, look, when you play in the big leagues, you're going to suffer some setbacks.
Yeah.
But I could, and I pointed to my cousin who I joke with a bit, I could do what blah blah does and play in the lower leagues and I'm much better. And it's fine. And we're all good and everyone's happy.
And he's settled.
And,
I love it.
yeah, but that's the thing is because you know for yourself what you want and where you want to be, it's like training. It's like everything in your life. You're pushing yourself
I've got high
to do
standards.
the best that you can.
Yeah.
And with that comes heaps of setbacks.
Yeah.
So I got around in a
It's
weird
true.
way. But it's like if you're going to be in this space where you're dating people that
I'd
are
rather be
truly
single.
your equal, there's going to be a fuckload that aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
More
you could
than
date
not.
someone that's good enough.
Yeah.
And it's shit, but if you listen to my podcast, this is kind of a theme that we have. Do you want that? If you want that, that's cool. But there's the people that I kind of tend to gravitate to and hang around where that's not how we roll. I've always, I never understood dudes that, I've had many friends say to me, she's not the prettiest girl in the world. I said, what do you mean? This is your girlfriend or a girl that you're seeing. In your mind, she should be stunning. I might not like her, but you shouldn't be objectively telling me she's terrible before I meet her. And that happens a lot.
There's actually, so I nearly said who this person is, but
Yeah.
I know someone that does that. And
Yeah.
he basically, his whole friendship group, anytime someone is coming, anytime he's going to bring this girl that he's been seeing
That's so fun.
into the friendship group, he'd be like, oh, yeah, she's a great girl, but she's just a little bit fat, or she's just a little bit big, or she's not the most attractive girl I've seen. I'm like, why is that your opening sentence?
And that
Like he
says a
has
lot.
to, justify something.
it's almost like
Yeah.
you.
He knows, even in his core, he knows, look, this doesn't look right.
Is he hot
But-
and attractive and stuff?
I think internally he'd feel hotter. He would.
Well, yeah, but also he's also got internally he feels obviously very insecure if that's the first thing that he's looking
Correct.
at is someone's looks.
And she hasn't checked some other boxes where you would you should just feel like she's the fucking hottest person in the room all
Yeah.
the time. And that's where when people date I call it dating out of starvation. So when you date out of starvation, you're like, please have some of that because if I finish it, it's going to be a bad time. There's
Don't
not much
tell me
left.
twice.
As if you're dating,
Let's hope Michael's not watching this.
if you're dating out of starvation, you latch onto the first thing that's like, she'll put up with my shit. It's fine. Not necessarily someone I want to be with, but this is good. Whereas you're in the dating from surplus, right? You've got everything in life kind of ticked off and fucking humming along, and it's just my partner now. So that inherently is going to be harder to lock down and slot into. You could be in that situation where you're you're dating someone, but then you're fucking, and a lot of people don't say it out loud. They say it internally.
What do they say?
This person's good enough. Effectively, what he's saying is, she's good enough.
Yeah.
She's good enough.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, horrible. But for some people, that's a 50-year marriage.
It's true because we've both said that we would rather be single
Correct.
than settle
Yeah.
down with someone that we're half asking.
Yeah.
Or just putting up with it because they tick a few boxes, or
Yeah.
because you feel lonely.
Or because you feel like, fuck, I'm nearly 30 and I need to settle down.
Yeah. A famous therapist once said, a lot of people are just too scared to end up alone. But it's are you really alone, or are you just looking for someone next to you when you're old?
This is big because I have a really cool point to make on this. So I remember being in my previous relationships feeling so alone because I was miserable, right?
Yeah.
So in the previous 2 relationships I was in, it come to a point where I stuck around in those relationships way longer than I needed to. I was way checked out before I actually left the relationship.
That's natural. Yeah.
Right? And in that I felt alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like I could not be any more alive, and I spend so much time alone, but I'm not lonely. I don't feel lonely.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Because I have that many great relationships, friendships from my friends and family that I don't feel alone.
And you can fully be yourself and be seen as yourself too. I've noticed in relationships where I've felt lonely as well, and you start to even just subconsciously
You
start
question everything.
not even that, but you start to change parts of yourself just to kind of fit
To make it work.
to make it work.
Yeah,
and then you feel even more lonely because you're not actually being yourself.
Yeah.
You don't feel seen for yourself.
Can you guys believe this entire room didn't exist the entire time I was with my ex? Like all of
Really?
this. Yeah, she didn't want me to do a podcast because like
She didn't want you to do a podcast.
no.
Why?
Because so my friends always said like you should fucking because I always bat above average. Like you've got to just whatever you do, you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You got to get it out there. People got to listen to it. And she was like, I don't think I'd feel comfortable with that. So you do. You change it and you shape your shit. And then all of this stuff was in a fucking storage facility somewhere. Like none of this existed. And
So
then
she didn't feel comfortable with you talking about your previous situations.
anything. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I said heaps about her, who she ended up dating a guy that she used to talk about at work all the time. But anyway, I digress.
Exposed, you bitch.
Yeah, fucking bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
But like you want to be. And then Amy fucking pushed me into the podcast.
Yeah.
When we had the break on the band, she's footing me up the ass. You're going to start recording again. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
They want to fucking get in your shit and make it pop.
You need someone that supports what you do.
Yeah.
In anything.
Yeah.
And this is where even like with your health and your fitness and stuff, if they don't
Yeah.
support that, then that's
Yeah.
not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So stop trying to like either change yourself or just
Or change them as well.
yeah,
Change
that's
Yeah.
a massive one.
Yeah.
And this is what we're talking about earlier today is just let things be and don't try and change people
Don't
because you
force-
never will.
Don't force it. I used
Don't
to
beg, don't force, don't chase.
Bring out the best though. So if you see
Yeah.
things in someone that's like, fuck, they're really good at this, but they don't do it because they think they're stupid or whatever. Fucking cheerlead them hard.
cheerlead them
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
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 I remember my ex-partner that I was with for 6 years, like it got to the point where I was so into my health and fitness and he wasn't. And I kept forcing him to like be into health and fitness.
Yeah.
And it literally just made me resent him. Like he ate like shit. He was lazy and
And it probably
Yeah,
made him
yeah.
resent you too.
yeah. And I was like,
Nah, once
why
you got
am
naked,
I?
he's like, this is fine. This is the best.
Why am
This is
I
like eating food.
No, but as in like that's probably all he wanted to do was sit there and just fucking eat some chocolate or you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
And I
you're
was
like,
like,
come on, let's go to the gym. He's
fucking
fuck
stop being
off,
a fat
Kayla.
cunt.
Yeah.
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 But like obviously the relationship ended on very good terms. But the thing
Did
is,
it?
no. It did.
I'm kidding.
But at the time, I was just like, I'm trying to like change this guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
try and get him to be someone that he's not. And it clearly didn't work. So you need to just be.
You got to be able to identify when you like trying to get something that's not there, and
Yeah,
that's
like, stop
because
trying
you
to force
care
it.
so much. Like it's like asking to give up on like a really good project or something that you're doing. Like you just want it to work, so you're like, I'm just gonna do whatever I can, and that comes later. And even still, as you get older, it's just as hard. You're like, this is fucked. I don't know why, but then you meet someone like Amy, and you're like, nope, I will literally burn the boats and make sure fucking whatever I need to do to get this fucking there. And it's a completely different feeling
Yeah.
to anything before. Even like the relationship that I thought I would get engaged in, fucking thank Christ, she had the emotional intelligence to pull the pin because wow, like the difference is insane.
Do you feel like, because now you know what love is, right? Like you know
But this is the thing is like, because you date and stuff, like you think you do every fucking relationship because you're like, this is love. And I think it changes. It has different forms and certain ones can pair with you better.
Yeah.
And be like, 'cause a lot of people aren't good with intense love. I am. I need that. And I didn't realize that for some reason, the two girls before were not emotionally avoidant, but they weren't emotionally vulnerable
Yeah.
and honest.
This is what we've spoken about. A lot of guys that I previously dated just were not emotionally vulnerable. And even in the last year, the kind of guy that I've gone for is just so different. Like I used to go for the fuckboy kind of dude, and now I'm like, right, I'm not about that energy. Like I don't need that. I don't need.
Because you can, when you've done like work on yourself, you notice those signs very early on, and you could be like,
yeah, nah, don't want it. Whereas now I'm like, no, I want a guy who's emotionally vulnerable. I want a guy who can communicate, and I want a guy who can have a cry or at least be open and honest and transparent with what they want.
Like that's the thing is though, you can see it, right? And know it, and sometimes just completely ignore it. True, Georgia? Would you like to explain when you can see all the red flags, but like
let's move on to red flags.
there's a couple of things here. You can be either very digmatized, or you can just be caught up in. This is what you said before about chemistry. Sometimes the chemistry, if you have like intense sexual chemistry with someone, you can mistake that for love. but really it's just lust. And I've been in situations that are like that. I've been in a couple of situations that are like that where you just, you know deep down in your gut that that person is not right for you, but because the sex is so good or like.
So you've had that, like you have that thing where you're like, I know this is fucked, but I'm going to keep going because Jesus.
Yeah.
Really?
I have. I've been in this situation where.
That must be it makes sense with the EQ because with dudes, you're like, no, I thought that was great the whole time. I don't know what the fuck.
No, we're aware. We're aware
So-
when we're not making
Okay.
good decisions.
Okay.
You know what the thing is? It's like, for me, I'm like, if you have to question anything or if you have to talk to your friends about if a situation's right or not,
Yep.
you know. You know what I mean? The fact
So
that
why do you keep going back in those
Because
situations?
sometimes
Why do
you-
women do that?
I think a lot of women just like I said, you're caught up in the emotional side of it and you just want maybe validation or you're caught up in like how intense the chemistry is.
That is
'Cause
that was
I've been caught in that.
oxytocin.
Oh, and especially if it's like the best sex you've ever had.
Yeah.
You sometimes mistake love and lust. And then I think sometimes like I found myself justifying certain behaviors because I'm like, oh, it's not that bad or it's not that
Yeah.
bad. But then when you do talk about it to like, I've spoken to you about a few things and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's bad. And
That's
then you
not
let it
on,
go.
yeah.
And then like,
You get lured in again. What
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
things? What kind of things have been said to you that make you lure back in? Like, for example, you've got the hint. You know, yep, this is not the right decision for me to make. I've called it. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Moving
Where
on.
do you come back and be like,
what
nah?
What is it that's made you come back? Like, what have they said that's
She
been
comes, am I right?
get dick down.
But well,
No,
yeah,
I
what
think
is
it's
it?
like,
Is it emotional?
yeah, it is. It's very emotional. And then like, I think in a situation like that, you're only trying to hear a certain thing. You know what I mean? So they tell you everything that you want to hear and you do believe it because you
Yeah.
love them. You know what I mean? And you want to believe what they're saying. So you're like, okay. And you know,
Do you
too,
second
like,
guess? Do you like, oh, they're not being genuine, or like, do you genuinely
I think
feel like
sometimes you're blinded by it because
Yeah.
you love them and you have
you want to believe it?
Yeah, you want to believe this person is not doing this to like
Yeah.
prolong something that's not going to last. Because
and you
why
want
would
it
you
to
do that?
work, you know, and
Yeah.
you want to see them fighting for it. You know what I mean? So when you hear them saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. No, let me do this. Let me do that." Yeah, it was wrong of me, and they take responsibility in quotation marks. You get lured back in because you're like, okay, yeah, they've taken responsibility. They can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is
They
full of
understand
shit.
what they've done wrong.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, if they can see what they've done wrong,
That's kind of hot too, isn't it? You're like, oh, fuck, he knows.
Yeah.
And he's like
Yeah.
trying to be better.
yeah,
And you're
that's
like,
now
fuck.
I'm turned on. Now I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
fuck.
Yeah, it
You know?
happens as well. It's honestly, it's harder with the girl. You're like, all right, fine. She fucking still thinks I'm okay. Fine.
Yeah.
You're like, she didn't mean it. And then
Yeah.
it happens again. And you're like, oh, fuck.
And then
right.
it just happens way too many times. And I find myself like, I'm a very patient person, and which is a good thing, but can be a bad thing too. Because sometimes
Yeah.
I stay longer than I probably should.
Yeah.
And I've done that in like a number of situations. And then I find myself like, I've wasted probably 6 to 8 months of my life, and I should have ended this.
Yeah, but that's your
a year
pairing
ago.
style. Like when you pair for a long time.
Yeah.
But that should inherently mean that when you do pair, it should be a stronger connection. So that all tracks.
yeah.
So you're not having, you will still have the odd fucking fling or whatever,
Mm.
but there's, when you're in, that's like me. It's like in for a penny, in for a pound. Like you're just in. Like this fucking
You're
house could be on
invested.
fire.
You're
Yeah.
invested.
No, just in the garage. It's fine. We're all good. Don't worry about it. But you've got, and that to me, I guess obviously because it's me,
Mm.
I'd rather be like that
Yeah.
than be too skittish and then see something and just leave and be avoidant.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you've got to be vulnerable. To, like the juice has to be worth the squeeze. So
For
to
sure.
get super hurt and super fucked around and whatever is going to be that the one time that it fucking works, it works. And you're not the 50% that get divorced. And you're not the 50% that hate each other. Like
Yeah.
it's real and it's fun. And you're the couple that everyone's like, fuck.
But the
We want
other
that.
person has to be on the same page
Yeah.
too. The other person has to be
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah.
work and make things work just as much as
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. As in, you know how you see so many dynamics of like one person being way
Gives
more
up.
invested into
Yep.
the other. Yeah, I agree. I think like a healthy, good relationship, it's definitely like 50-50. Like,
It's because it's never good all the time.
no.
And a lot of people are really scared when it starts to look like it's bad for whatever traumas they have. Being from a Woggy household, I think we learn to put up with, and that's where it's bad.
Mm.
You put up with too much. But as a dude who dated primarily Aussie girls, it was a big thing. Like even shit you not, they'd be like, a lot of my family would be like, the Australian girls, mate, they don't understand. They just leave. And then as I'm dating, I'm like, fucking hell. Like, but now as I'm an adult and I understand, like it's people. It's not fucking where they're brought up. People especially with dating apps now.
Yeah, we should move on to the date. Yeah,
that's why I brought it
dating
there.
apps. Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
They're too quick to leave because I've got the phone full of like 30,000 matches.
Many options.
I saw a reel on Instagram today, and it was a woman talking about like dating apps, and she said something along the same lines. It was like people just give up now because they know
there's more options.
Yeah.
There's more options, and they can just go find something somewhere else. So you're never going to get a deep connection, or you're never going to get to a point where you have a really true intimate connection or relationship with someone because you just know that you can go onto the app and find someone else.
But ultimately, I think that stems from, because there's a lot of that now, because it's like it picks up really quick. There's a lot of that, but I'll put it to you this way. If you are the prize and it is a genuine connection and shit is the bomb, that stuff happens when it's 50-50. Or there's like a bump in the road and there's something that they don't vibe with 100% that will be an issue. It's better that they do fuck off and go to it. All the statistics are showing is the majority of people are wishy-washy, don't have any real identity, and don't know how to fuck, date, or whatever. There's all these problems where people don't try and work at it because we don't talk about it and don't do all this. If you commit and you get your shit in order, like you guys have, you will eventually find that dude that has his shit together and is going to marry up with your morals and all of that sort of shit. It's just, there's a big pain period, just like when you start training. And once you get through it, man, it's fucking sick. And that's why people like, one of my friends, he's being cute. He's like, you date really nice ladies. I'm like, what are you trying to say, Sebastian? And he's like,
you date losers.
He's like, you date really pretty girls. I'm like, yeah, but that's not by chance. Like, I'm in situations where like I get rejected by fucking hundreds of girls and stuff. Like, it's not fun and it's not comfortable, but when it works, it works. Because they see me and they know me. So it's just like,
because they get to know you.
Push through
They're
it.
willing
I think a thing as well is like everyone has got trauma. Everyone has got shit. And like the way people treat you is a reflection of the trauma that they haven't dealt with or healed from.
What I would say is if a dude approaches you in public and they're not drunk, give that a bit more juice than you would. Because think about it, especially now, how easy it is to swipe, right? If they've come up to you and spoken to you, that's some balls. If they're not drunk or high.
What about when it's at the gym?
I beg to differ because I've been out and I've had a guy approach me.
Yeah, but he's been drinking.
Nope. No, I'm out for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was just walking past a restaurant.
Yeah.
And this guy was with his mate having dinner and he came out. He wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
He came out and approached me.
Yeah.
And it was the most toxic relationship I've ever had.
It was toxic, but like was there a period where it was quite good? Okay, because you had toxic relationships from fucking dating apps.
What's going on?
Dating apps. But what I'm trying to say to you is, did it not feel like it was more genuine from the outset than it would be just matching with someone on an app? Didn't it feel like it had more stones?
Because I met him.
You made the effort.
Yeah.
Or did it last not as long? Maybe because you met organically, you get more of a sense for the person, so you don't have all this bullshit where you're fucking around. Will we catch up?
With that, let's get into this. Let's get into the dating icks. How annoying is like if you, for example, I get on a dating app. If I genuinely feel like I'm going to vibe with this person, instantly initiate catch up. Because I would rather nip it in the bud early. I'm sorry, I don't have time.
What is it that makes you? What is it that makes you think that you're like? What is it that a guy can do
to make you make the jump?
Yeah,
I'm going to be completely honest. I have a particular type of person that I go for, and
it's the white.
It's purely
if it's a box of crayons, it's the white crayon. That's the guy that she goes for.
Like it's the physical appearance. I need to be sexually attracted to you. I'm sorry.
It's obviously important.
Yeah, but like if I'm like, oh yep, cool. They look like they're into their health. They look like they're into their fitness. Yeah. Maybe they've said something on there that brings a little bit of humor. I go and then do a little stalky stalk on their Instagram,
which is public. Yep.
See if they like. What do they get up to? What do they do? What do they do on the weekend? Do they have any mutual friends? Do they what places are they tagged in?
That's pretty good.
Next question.
That's 2 you've dodged. No, so
Can we actually get a clicker up?
No.
a clicker.
A clicker up to see how many.
Why do I get
yeah,
interrogated
yeah.
on this podcast when I make way smarter decisions about dating than Georgia?
But you just, Jesus.
Ouch! That one. I'm still in my sensitive phase at the
I
moment.
know,
You need to
I
just
know.
be. This heart is broken right now. You need to be sensitive. Where were we?
So you were talking about you go for predominantly fitness guys, right?
Because
So-
I'm like it naturally.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work if they weren't.
Yeah. But
Lifestyle is
I
massive.
think from an outset, like an honest perspective, is maybe like dial that emphasis back on how fitnessy they are.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
because like ideally, like you'd probably
Like,
want
they
like a
don't need-
Huberman type guy that's like really smart and really fit. Whereas like when you fall into the fit spaces, they tend to be kind of fucking stupid and
But
kind
then
of
even
broy
like,
and drug
100%.
dealers and like a whole bunch of other stuff.
And they're fuck boys. A lot of the like guys that are like
Amy
that are
said it
fuck
the
boys.
best. She's like, you don't train the way you need to train to have abs year round to stay faithful. And I swear to God, I was like, I need that tattooed on my back.
Yes,
Just so you know, that's why I don't have abs.
Can you just say it one more time for everyone?
Yeah.
Drill it into Kayla's ear loud and clear.
Yeah, it's true. You don't train for abs year round to stay faithful. Like because to have abs, especially as a dude, although the type of guys you go for kind of have them all the time because of things that have happened over time. So they're always shredded. They can just be genetically shredded.
Yeah. But I've been with guys that are like not shredded, that they've had a little bit of a gut,
Yeah.
and that's like
Dad bod.
Thick,
Dad bod.
thick kings in the house.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
thick boys.
Yeah.
I like guys that are obviously into their gym and their health and fitness, but like
Yeah, but we've spoken about this, and I don't go for gym guys.
Yeah, no.
I go
we
for
can
a guy
rewind
who's,
back,
like,
and I
athletic.
might even do it. Where
Oh,
you're
here
like,
we go.
I go for guys that go to the gym. I go for gym guys. I go for fit guys.
No.
But it's conflict, right? Like it's like you do go for a certain type of guy, and this happens to everyone, man. You're like, there was a period where I was just dating blondes, and I'm like, fucking small, hot blondes, and you're like, why are they all toxic and evil?
yeah.
And it's like, oh, but I like fucking small blondes, and you're like, maybe it's that sort of archetype that tends to have a certain personality trait that has something that society kind of accepts and it's okay, and that's why they're like that, because they're like that, and we put them in a group, and that's how things work.
Preach to this.
No.
This is literally what I'm trying to deal with at the moment.
Okay.
Is that because I've gone for a specific type of person,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm finding that the specific type of person that I've gone
Yes,
for
you're
has
attracted
all
to
got
that. Yeah.
all got the same characteristic traits, and I find myself
So-
in toxic relationships, and I'm just like, I need to broaden my horizons.
Or what I would say is, and we actually talk about this quite a bit, you need to look at what within that group you're attracted to specifically, because it won't be everything.
No,
It'll be a few specific things. And the rule of thumb for me with anything is like, pick 3 things, find those 3 things, write them down, and they are the 3 things that you're going to commit to.
Let's
Yeah.
go. What are the 3? Wait, can we go? What were the toxic traits in the previous
So
relationship?
the obvious things.
So
that
what
are
are the
fucking-
what are the toxic traits that you keep finding?
Infidelity is probably the biggest one.
Yep. Infidelity, lying,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, it's all like you can tell when someone's telling, like when they're genuinely lying.
Yeah.
You can just tell. It's like in their tone of voice.
Yeah.
What's another thing? Yeah, infidelity, lying, and just a lack of commitment. And I also find that the type of men that I've gone for have all been emotionally unavailable.
Yeah, that's me. I reckon.
That's most people.
Yeah.
So you're always the option that's into you. For some reason, you're like, they're into me. There must be something wrong with them. That's weird. Why the fuck would you be that into me before? And it's like,
Because like, you know,
especially when the big thing that gym does is it's like a delayed reward. So you're constantly in this space where you're like, I'm going to keep doing these things, and I'm going to keep doing, and I don't have a reward straight away, but it's coming. It's coming. And then you think about that. You do that every day, 365 days a year. When you start dating, and it starts bleeding into your work ethic, it starts bleeding into your dating ethic.
Every
You're like,
aspect.
oh, they don't like me. Like they kind of like me, but they don't like me. But we're going out and stuff, and this is something I'm going to work at, something I'm going to build at, and eventually it's going to pop. And that's not how relationships work. You inherently like someone, want to be around them all the time, or not. It's a vibe. It's a thing. You might think someone's an asshole and then kind of grow to like them. I've never heard a couple that have been truly, you look at them, you're like, that's objectively the best relationship I've ever seen. And have said, I fucking hated that cunt the first time I saw them and I couldn't be around them. It's always these ones where you're like, yeah, that tracks. Kind of standoffish, kind of whatever. The explosive ones, no, and it happens. It just turns out the two things that you guys kind of dedicate your lives to teach you to not do that.
Yeah.
So if someone's into you, it's because they fucking care. And they're like, that's... Now, Amy thinks that I wasn't like that, but I had practiced a lot at being really fucking cool and relaxed and calm, because when you do that to hot women, they fucking run away because you're too fucking keen and whatever.
Yeah.
But she was the hottest girl I worked with when I first got my first job. And I was fucking obsessed with her from that point forward, but trying to be cool, just trying to be relaxed, like just fucking just whatever, just talk when you can, talk normally, whatever. Nothing eventuated. She actually pied me when we first started talking. And then later when we were both single through COVID, she was giving me like heaps of really, really good green flags. And I wanted to...
Just like name a few of these green flags.
Talking to me a lot and not replying to any of my messages. No, but she was asking shit about me. She was laughing at stuff that wasn't funny. It's like, it was like all of the stuff. Like she just wanted to know more about me, what I was doing, asked if I was single within like fucking 3 DMs. Like it was very obvious. And I remember I'd written it off so much from then. I didn't jerry straight away. But when I did, I was like, oh, I can't be myself and just be in, because then it might raise a red flag for her.
It will bounce back, yeah.
So it sucks.
It's a lot of back and forth, isn't it?
It's exhausting.
It's a fucking mind game.
It is exhausting.
It is, and and that's something I can't deal with, is the games that happen.
Yeah, but if that's the thing though, is like you take the games away and the guy's too interested and you don't want to fuck him.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of need it to like, because what it tells you is there's a guy that's well adjusted, that's dated, that's understood that like, I understand she's gorgeous and fucking I just want to do nothing but fuck her for 10 years. But right now, I just got to calm the fuck down and we'll just breathe through it. We'll be all right. And it shows patience. It shows, they're really good traits. But look, even though I faked it with Amy, I want to have that for the rest of my life. So something you constantly work at. And it comes with maturity. It comes with a whole bunch of shit. It just takes time and it's yuck to try and get into that space, but it's fucking...
It's painful sometimes too.
It sucks dick, man.
It does.
We'll get there one day.
Physically, literally, mentally.
And hence why we stay single.
Yeah. But it's like... I wouldn't say give the guys a chance that come to you. Like, and show a lot. Because if you're getting that, that's okay. That's okay. It's not a bad thing.
What do you mean?
Are you trying to say that I need to put in more effort?
No, what I'm saying is, you know how you were worried that like the guys that give you heaps of attention, you get switched off by, and then the guys that are avoidant, you chase, right?
Don't chase.
That's fine.
No, yeah.
That's fine. Because you're getting that ick from the push for a reason, right? And it is being too emotionally available and honest. And that's like a few different problems. And it's like after a certain amount of time, like a guy needs to realize like if she's not reciprocating, you got to come back a bit. So if you keep going, you can kind of fudge it. Like if you push a bit and then you guys are really good at kind of like not replying when you need to reply.
I'm actually very good at that.
Same.
Some of the chats me and some friends used to have be like, no, definitely she's just busy. Like,
She's on a plate.
This is that one time where they text and say they've lost their phone and left their phone in their car for like 2 days.
Yeah. So I've just had a lot going on work.
So I wouldn't change that, but be aware that the avoidant guys are probably being avoidant for a reason. You've still got to have some.
Because they're just not that into you.
It's well, they could be more into someone else too, because that you got to be careful of that.
Wait, what?
So if they're more into someone else, when you're doing that dance, right?
Oh, like you're playing along to people.
And you can tell when they're not getting any dick or vagina and then it comes back and you're like, a big thing that I like to tell people.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Is always it's a soccer thing. You be their starting 11, never the bench. So if you weren't the first choice, I'm not the second choice.
Yeah.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you move on. That's how I like to say it. Some people are a bit more emotionally evolved than I am and think that's fine. I hate it. I'd be like,
Yeah.
well, if that person just chose to have you, they would just have you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want your rejection as my end game, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Makes sense.
I do respect people that aren't that emotionally petty.
Mm.
Because that's not a good way to see shit. Have we covered it? Like, what are we on?
What do we want to talk about?
Before Amy, were you on
Yeah.
the dating apps?
Yeah. So mate, this is how fucking old I am. When Tinder first came out,
Yeah.
I just broken up with my partner.
Yeah.
I think. And woo-wee was Tinder fucking fun. It was ridiculous.
Yes, let's get a girl, like a male
Guys.
and a female perspective on dating apps. Let's do it.
Everyone was on Tinder because it was the first fucking semblance of. Because up until then, it was only for the gays, like Grindr, right?
Mm.
And that was popping
Grindr
off.
the first thing?
Grindr started it. Like,
Damn.
that, mate, they've done so much for the porn industry, for dating. Like,
So there's Grindr, there's
Yeah.
Tinder, and do you know there's Minder?
yeah, and there's also
What's Minder?
Minder's for Muslims.
and did you know there's Scissor for lesbians? I'm not even kidding.
God.
Yep. My old co-host was lesbian. She's like, it's the best.
Is the best.
I learn something new every time I speak to you.
yeah.
There's so many different dating apps out there, isn't there?
Yeah. It popped off.
What have you used?
So progressively, because I've been single through kind of each of the different booms of it. Well, there was only Tinder, so I used it. And then there was Tinder and Bumble, so I used both of those. And then in the last stint, where I met Amy, I used everything. So I used Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I think Field was
Platinum
around then
on all
too.
of them.
There
What was
yeah.
your favorite?
I always did really well on Tinder,
Okay.
but I feel like
Do
it
you
was
agree that Tinder is just for fucking?
No, because I've dated off Tinder.
Okay.
But
Was
I dated
it-
off Tinder when it first came out.
Was it a good relationship?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm a big
Was
proponent
Amy
of.
through a dating app? No, she
No,
was
we
not.
worked
You
together
knew
and then
you-
we just messaged each other. You kind of a dating app, Instagram, like, you know what I mean? Kind of.
Online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was a big proponent of speaking to people in real life. So before Amy, I met Amelia in London. We met at a bar. We spoke and then kind of, she lived in Sydney, so we did distance for a year. Before that was Sarah's the girl that worked next door. So I went in and just fucking shot my shit. She was engaged. Yeah.
Wow. So you were
Yeah.
dating her while she's engaged?
No. Then she killed it, like when there was a vibe. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
really?
We're like talking and stuff, and she's like, "This is fucked. I think I'm into you more than the guy I'm engaged to."
Wow.
Yeah. That was a red flag though, because the same thing happened to me. So.
Well, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Usually how you meet people
But
is.
she's happy now, so that's good.
Well, that's
um,
good. Is she back in another relationship?
She's married with kids.
Oh, I
so-
love that for her.
Yeah, it's good. But see,
Good on her.
like that's the thing is like I'm the guy that when girls break up with them, they get married. So
So you're setting them up for their marriage.
Good luck,
That's-
Chuck.
yeah.
Is it good? What's that movie?
yeah, it is good luck, Chuck.
Good
He
luck,
fucks
Chuck.
when they get married right after.
No, that is me. That is me. I'm Chuck
No,
though.
but that's not. So that movie spins it in a really bad light. What that
telling
means
you.
is though, but when you date people, is they're in their serious phase, so they're looking for that person. But you got to
You're not the
remember,
one.
it's such a delicate pairing scenario. Like, just think about it. You've almost paired with that many people that have been ready to get married. There were all these people in that right headspace looking for that person, and you were like the number one seed. That every person they get married to after you is the seconds, right? There was something that wasn't quite right, and they're like, you know what, fuck this. This is good enough, and that's it, and they're done. If you were like, they hit you in that space where it's kind of becoming the thing where it's going to happen. Like, I'm looking to date seriously. We're not idiots. We've got our shit together. That's the thing, and it just doesn't work. So you can't take it personally.
So why do you think it doesn't work then?
Because they know what they want. Because they're in that final phase of dating.
But then it's almost like you're never going to find someone that ticks all those boxes. So it's like, are they almost settling when they find someone after you?
Look,
Just to kind of hurry the process up?
it can be because certain things can be more important than others. So there could be like, I'm very stubborn, right? I'm very opinionated. So that's a problem for a lot of people. And that's why I get it. And I'm negative too. Also a problem for people. Like, so I know these things. So when I see that, like, and they got married or whatever after, I'm like, yeah, that's fair because that dude's happy and whatever and all other sort of shit. It's just things that I don't have, and I'm cool with that. Like, you just got to learn. There's certain things that we have in our personalities that, like, we have this awesome everything, but there's like a few things for some people they're just non-negotiables.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
and they think it's legit and it's awesome, and it is. It is. But there's just a few things. It's like, I'd rather them do that than stay with me and just constantly nag at me for being a bit of a fucking naysayer. or just
Yeah.
constantly nag at me for like, you know, being like kind of too inappropriate.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be in that.
Yeah.
And that's
You'll
why
end
I
up
like
resenting each
being
other.
in that space. Because look, you get there. Trust me. I found Amy. That's way better.
Oh, I'm not that like fast, to be
Yeah.
fair. Like I'm just doing.
I think everyone needs to have a period of time where they're dating around, having a little hoe phase.
You need to.
Yeah.
And then you
need
also
to.
need to have a phase where you buy yourself completely and
Yep.
you heal and you learn more about yourself. You learn about what you need, what you want. And then you find when you're more open and welcoming to the people that are supposed to be in your life.
Yeah, I got dated. I never had a hoe phase. Like I had intervals. It was like the interval training of hoe phase.
Yeah.
Like I'd have like a couple of months and then I'd date someone for
Well, yeah,
fucking
that's a hoe
3
phase.
years.
I was
Okay, that's all right.
That doesn't matter how long it is. It's like it's like a little hoe
It
phase.
counts. It
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
I think because this is usually what happens, right? So if you're in a long-term relationship, you break up, so you're emotionally unavailable. So then you go
Yeah.
and date, you sleep around, you have your hoe stage. Then you might meet someone that you're seeing that evolves into a situationship, doesn't work out. You get the ick of dating. You'd be single for a while.
That's what I
where
wanted to
you
say before.
don't date.
I've never gotten the ick from dating. It was such a thing where I was like, I enjoy meeting people so much. I'd be like, this
And you
is
enjoy
crap,
connection.
and I hate it. And like most people are pieces of shit. Like
Oh,
I've always wanted to go back and have a look at all the pointless conversations I've had on those things where it's like, because big one, because I'm short, right? Heaps of chicks.
We have a short
that
kid.
is a red flag. I've spoken to my friends about this,
Yeah.
and this is a huge red flag. They
Yeah, it's
look.
massive.
One of the things that they look at is the height,
And that's why I would
and
have
guys
photos.
lie about it because
Yeah.
of that.
But that's why, so as a dude that's short and you just know it, you have to show them photos with your friends that are taller to give like the true perspective. They're like,
And
they
that
need
catfish.
to know.
Trust me,
They
girls
need to
look-
know. Yeah.
Girls, look at that.
But what I would do, because some fucking pieces of shit will ask while you're texting, and it got to the point where one day I was like, "How much do you weigh?"
Nah, I think that's
if we're
valid.
dumping that shit out there,
I
like
think that's valid.
obviously I'm short. I've given you a photo where you can see my friends that are like 6'4", 6'5", and I'm like 5'7", pushing it. Like it's like obvious that I'm not tall.
Best believe if anyone asked me how much I weighed.
Yeah, but it's like
an
and
instant
she would say,
swipe.
no,
It's
but
an instant ick.
they would instantaneously be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like because they realize like it's obvious that I'm short. If you're asking, you
So
know
you're
I'm
giving
short.
them the chance to fuck off early.
Oh, I don't want to be with someone that's like obviously got an issue with height.
Yeah.
One of my the first
thing is,
one,
though-
she's 5'9", she's tall. So like there are people to short kings that are out there that are panicking. It's fine. Just be awesome and you'll be fine. Don't
You know
worry
the
about
thing
it.
is, girls care about height, but when it comes down to it, if you have a genuine connection with someone,
Oh yeah, it's
Like
like
my
it's
first-
because it's a protection mechanism.
Yeah.
So height is inherently showing that you can. It's for quiet dumb cunts. They can just prove to anyone they can protect them because they're
for
tall and
sure.
big.
When my
Right?
first boyfriend, he was
Yeah.
just a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
if you have a genuine connection with
If you
someone,
have a genuine connection and you think as a guy, if you're listening, like
you can overlook
it's a
it.
fitness podcast, so most of them train, so they don't need to worry about it. But like,
Yeah.
if you're strong, like that gets rid of the height issue straight away. If you're built, it's fine. If you've got broad shoulders, again, that gives you more fucking leeway.
A lot of leeway.
And if you got,
you've got a good dick.
If you've got a good
Yes,
chest,
true.
good
That-
shoulders,
you've got-
good
right.
chest.
they won't, you just can't whip your dick out though, Kayla. It gets in trouble.
Yeah, don't do that because that will definitely give you the ick.
But what if it's good?
Can we do like let's do the icks?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need
yeah.
to go into the icks.
Yeah, go.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, she
But
wasn't going to Icks before.
I'll start with that ick though.
She's got a
the
mind
Which one?
biggest ick for me.
Your
Shortness.
biggest ick?
No, like
What's your ick rating on shortness? I'm curious.
it doesn't bother me too much because I'm not really tall.
Yeah, fair.
So it doesn't actually bother me. Whereas some of my girlfriends are a lot taller and they're like massive ick. Massive ick.
You'd be like, because
Really?
you're fucking gigantic.
And we'll refuse to date anyone that's shorter.
Yeah, they refuse.
You can hit the sweet space with tall women where if you're short, it's kind of like a thing of like, because everyone looks at them because they're tall,
Yeah.
not small, and it's
Ah.
really good sex. I went for
Oh.
tall girls for a long time just because
Really?
to prove that I can fuck tall girls. It
Yeah.
was dope.
Okay.
So it was mainly for yourself.
It
Your
was.
own-
Interesting,
And it was
interesting.
fantastic.
No,
Yeah,
but
carry on. Next one.
An ick, dick pics. Not about it.
yeah.
Not into it.
But in a relationship, dick pics, does that happen?
Nah, just
Yes.
give it to me the real deal.
Yeah,
oh,
but
no, when you're in a relationship, it's different. Like if you're in a relationship and you're sending like sexy pics to each other, I think
Yeah.
that's very
You're like,
I'm a
warranted.
fan.
hot.
100%, because it's like you want them like
Yeah.
if you're not with them, you want them 10 times more because it's like
agreed. Agreed.
yeah, I'm for it. I'm definitely for dick
Put that
pics.
one in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Save the dick
but
pics for
I'm
the
just like,
relationship.
I don't know.
If it's a guy you're just trying to get to know or you've just matched with on Tinder,
Yeah, not about
fuck
it.
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Fuck no. And if it's dick pics that are unwarranted, like don't just
Yeah.
randomly. I don't want to wake up on a Tuesday morning and have your dick for the first thing I
And
see in the morning.
you've got to be smart about it too, because just the raw dick pic is not a good choice.
Ever.
Yeah.
Even if, like,
It's-
no, don't.
Be creative.
Just don't do it at all. Don't even be creative. Just don't do it at all. Just cancel it out of your mind.
We've done a 360 and that we're like, sometimes they're great. It's just fucking just don't.
It's only okay if you're in a relationship. Period.
All right, next.
That's it.
What's your what?
I found so I was going through like this list of like funny icks today online, and this one here, someone's like when you're texting them and they text hee hee.
Oh, as a but
Like
see,
they're
as a
trying to be-
guy, that's all you get is that shit.
No, but when a guy
As a girl,
texts you
because
hee hee. Have
Yeah,
you ever
girls
texted
text.
someone
It's not
hee
okay
hee?
for
No,
a guy to say
guys, I don't text that because it's feminine.
That's what I'm saying. So when
Yeah.
a guy texts hee hee, like
Yeah.
that's like repulses me straight
Fun
away.
fact, between like guys, when you send hee hee to guys, like you like doing like a cute little girl laugh. So it'd be
That's also-
weird if a guy did that. Yeah.
As
Yeah,
in,
but don't guys get turned
We're
off
like-
when you
do guys get turned off? Is that an ick for a guy
No.
if girls are like trying to be cute and shit?
No, it's hot.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's fucking hot.
What about when girls like this makes me feel sick? I even feel sick even saying it out loud. But you know when like girls like do baby talk with guys?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
So
about.
look, some girls that don't know how to do it properly, it's horrendous.
Oh,
There's some chicks though where you're like, fucking, how much do you want me to sell?
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it can be done.
It has to
very
be
well.
it has to be said the right
Yeah,
way at
yeah.
the right time.
Yeah, it can be finessed perfectly.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think
So I've seen girls use it to get like in fucking shit situations. They say it to a guy and the guy's like, that's okay. And she's like, clearly just fuck this guy. I'm like, oh, okay.
wait, what?
So like, because if you're in like an argument with someone or something or whatever, and you're just like trying to apologize, and then you start to just
Oh,
baby
no.
out on the apology.
Nah, I'm not
like you see the
dizzy.
guy just be like, fucking, it's kind of hard. I can't fucking hold on.
Yeah,
anymore."
yeah.
So it can work.
Oh,
It's-
nah.
If you can perfect it,
And it has to be done privately. Like it can't be done with anyone
Yeah,
else
not in
around
public.
because you don't want to make
Done
everyone else
so
around you
many
feel
times.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, nah.
yeah, yeah.
What else? What's another ick?
Icks
What's
for,
next for you?
Oh my god, loud eating will fucking kill me.
Oh
Or,
yeah.
like fucking that
Or
shit.
when you can hear them breathing while they're eating.
Yep.
That.
And also
I'm actually,
another one,
my heart rate is increasing thinking about that because it's making me angry.
one that you can't control but has literally inverted my penis. Farting while you're asleep, especially on the first time you
Oh my god, I'm
fart.
so guilty of that.
It's,
say, I
and
reckon it's me.
it wasn't a queef. Confirmed it wasn't. I remember just being like, okay.
Oh my god, and you
she
didn't
had
talk to her
nothing-
again.
No, I didn't. It was fine. We spoke and stuff. But I was like, this is
I
kind
will
of ruined.
not be fucking you. For,
This is-
I
no,
just
I was like,
purposely-
it lost a bit of like sparkle. I was like,
Oh no, I've done that.
I've definitely done that. Definitely.
I've done it and their
What about
leg has
snoring?
been on me. I've done it on their leg.
Snoring can be kind of cute if it's not like the proper snore.
Because I
Like
definitely snore.
Like a deep.
the too much meat here snore.
Yeah. If you
is
got too much meat, forget it.
If you can die in your sleep from it, it's not hot.
Yeah, nah. That's not hot.
No.
That's
Now
not
I know
cute for
why I'm
anyone.
single. I reckon.
Yeah,
It's just the
100%.
snoring.
Snoring and farting.
What
And
is-
I'm a sleep talker. So not only am I farting and
Sleep
like
talking's funny. That wouldn't be an ick though.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
funny.
like but it's a triple threat. Like
What?
sleep talking, then
uncomfortable
farting
next
on
to
your
you
leg,
constantly.
and then like snoring. Gosh, she's gorgeous, isn't she?
Other icks that you guys have?
What am I trying to think?
Other icks.
Oh, if I think you had this in the notes too. So if you go to pay for the bill and she doesn't do the dance, or because my move is like,
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm going to the toilet and I'll pay for it. If she doesn't acknowledge that you've paid for it, or be like,
Yeah.
at least be like, thank you for just doing the basic human thing of just acknowledging that I've done that.
Yeah.
If it's ever implied or assumed, I am done at that point, 150%.
I reckon we said this on the very first podcast we came
Yeah,
on with
for
yours.
sure.
It's like even
Yeah.
if you're just whip your card out.
Just do the dance, like be like, oh, don't be stupid, like
Let me
you know.
pay half.
Yeah,
But an ick, massive ick.
he's actually
is-
paying her.
No.
That's a huge ick.
Don't fucking ask me to pay.
Yeah.
No, the ick is
I'm a princess. I need to be paid for.
the ick is when they act like a tight ass though.
Yeah.
That is
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
like if they kind of just want to be if they definitely want you to go halves or
Yeah.
like going halves is an ick. Like pay the full amount or like
I've been
pay
on
the
some
full amount.
horrible dates where I'm like, we are never talking again. And I've still paid just because I understand that like dating for girls compared to guys is so much more A, dangerous, B, a step out of your comfort zone. There can be so many things for you guys. Like if it's weird for me, I just leave and go home. Like you really can't do too much to make a date dangerous for me. Right?
Really?
You've come out and spent time. You can't unless you try and stab me at a table, and at least then some other guy's going to help me. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did she know, or have you just kind of gone to the
What do you
toilet
mean?
and
I wasn't
left?
there. She was so I did the I'm going to the toilet. So
Did you?
you
it
left?
was a proper argument. This was actually on Creme down.
Hang on. You
I went out the
like
side.
ghosted. You left a date.
I'll
and
give you
ghosted.
full
I kind of
context.
like want to do this.
Full context. No. So it was one of the most awkward, cunty dates I've ever been on. So we were having coffee and stuff, and Creme have like that little kind of open
Is this like
area.
Kayla Road or whatever?
Yeah, just around the corner.
Yeah.
And they have that area where there's couches and open space for you to put your feet. Anyway, she was nitpicking the whole time we were kind of hanging out. Like she was big. I don't know if she's OCD on like just the way things were and done. And like she moved my cup at some point. I was like, that's weird, but that's fine.
Maybe she was just
Anyway.
nervous.
Maybe. And so
Justify.
I've leant back and then put my feet up on like it's a poof where you put your feet. Right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
there
yeah,
for your
yeah.
feet. She's like, I can't believe you would do that in public. I'm like, sorry? Like put my feet on the thing that you're supposed to put your feet on. She's like, yeah, that's so disrespectful and rude. And I'm like, really? Now? But I've just met you, like one-on-one. And she's like, I just don't know why you would do that. It's just so, I'm like, I don't know why you would say that. And she like kept going.
And you're actually saying this?
And then someone was like, look, let's reset. I'm going to go to the toilet, have a piss, we'll come back and be fine. And I just left.
Oh, wow.
That's
Did you
good.
Don't be
did
that
she call
fucking
you?
rude, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I blocked her number in the toilet before I left. I'm not a dickhead.
Did you
Okay,
ever
so-
see her or run into her?
Nope.
I love that. I love
Nah,
that
it's-
story.
but
Have
it's
you
like-
ever done that? You don't even date.
I haven't been. I actually haven't been on a proper date in probably 2 years.
Jesus.
2 years. I haven't been on a
God.
proper date, so I think I'm ready.
To be dated.
Get-
I'm ready to be
Get out
dating.
there.
I need to get out there, and I need to date. I need
You
to
need
meet
to
people.
I do have the best soft save for a girl that's been on a horrible date before.
Go,
Tell
go,
me.
go.
One of Amy's friends was on a date with this dude that was like super aggressive, like really rude to wait staff, like everything a dude could
Yeah,
do to be
that's
a
an
piece
ick.
of shit
Yeah.
was doing. Turns out that one of the good clients at the place they work was there at the restaurant and they saw her. And these people are fucking amazing, like the best humans ever. And the husband actually picked up that this person was super uncomfortable. And like, come sit at our table, blah, 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 have dinner with us. Like, and they're sitting there talking and she's basically just talking to this couple. And then they're about to leave and stuff. And he's just gone, you coming, Shay? Like gave her like the out. She's like, yeah, come. He's like, no, I'll take her home. He's like, no, mate, she's coming with us. And then this cunt's just kind of sat there like, what the fuck? And they've just left.
Oh my god, love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
But
That's a
like,
good save.
how often is that going to happen? It was so rare and amazing and beautiful. But
Oh, I
you can't
love
have
that. I
every
love
time.
people like that. But
Yeah.
I feel like women always have. If you're
We
going
have
on
a-
if you're going on a date,
gotta commit.
your friends know you're going on a date. So if you text them SOS, they've always got some.
You guys have code words or is it just literally?
It's just
fucking
SOS.
help?
I've got
Or help.
Matt. Matt
Yeah.
for sure will save me.
And
Yeah.
and your friend will give you a call and you'll be like, oh, the good old, I'm sorry, like my friend's in a situation, I got to go.
Have you guys had to do that before though?
I've never actually left a date, but I've left a date going, I will never speak to this person again.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been several first dates where I'm like, I will never speak to this person again.
You almost kind of know instantly too. Like you get there and you're like, the energy, there's something about this energy
Yeah.
that I'm
you
not liking
just go,
and I'm off
not
it.
feeling it.
I'm off it.
Yeah. It is weird. Has that happened organically or is it from an app date to a real date? So you're on the app, you sit down and it's weird, or have you known them, had a date, sat down and it's weird?
I've got a story.
I was okay, go.
I've got a story. This guy that I had matched with on Hinge, he was like really good on comms. Like he was unreal. What?
Yeah, it's just weird to call it comms because it is what it is, but it's very formal. Yeah.
Full essays.
Well, we do have a teacher on our hands.
Full essays, giving me all
Yeah.
this information. I'm like, perfect, cool.
Yeah.
He can.
That would very much be
Emotional
your
intellect.
communication style.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I get on this date with him. It was like a bar, like a wine bar. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
was just like, I get to this date, first red flag, doesn't drink wine.
Younger guys don't drink wine, just so you know.
Bullshit. No,
Is that a red flag if someone doesn't drink wine?
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
younger blokes don't drink. I didn't drink wine until I was about
personally,
32.
I want a guy that drinks wine
Yeah.
because I want to have a bloody damn wine with you.
Because there's that social pressure as a younger dude to not drink wine because it's a bit not manly.
Bullshit. Nah, not about it. All right, drink some red wine if you don't
I reckon
drink.
it's hot when a guy drinks wine.
That's what I mean.
Like if they're just like,
if you're like, I love a Pinot, I'm like, oh, come here.
But you hit, but no,
come here.
but you hit a point where you realize I can be called whatever the fuck you want. That wine with that cheese, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So this date, that's not even half of it. So first things first, he doesn't drink wine.
And he took you to a wine bar.
Actually, I may have initiated this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, local, great place. Anyway,
Yeah.
go to this wine bar and then we order food and everything. And he was a mute. I'm talking like he couldn't look at me in the eye. I'm
You can be a bit intimidating though, to be fair.
Apparently he was really nervous and really shy and he really tried hard to initiate a second date and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I just
that's fine.
could not do it. It was just complete mute. I was like,
Yeah.
I can talk to
You can talk underwater.
Oh, I can talk underwater. If you can't hold a
If
conversation
it's
with
a
me,
struggle, it's a problem.
that is a massive issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's so funny. I don't think I've been in a situation with. Actually, no, I have. Actually, yeah. There was a date that I went on in America, and he was
Especially NYC. Like that's the dating capital of the world.
You know what? American guys are just a different breed.
Yeah, it's a different thing, man.
A different breed.
I love
for good
so
or for
much.
worse?
I think for worse.
It's a lot more forward and a lot more like
I think I'd get the ick actually.
verbal.
Yeah. They're a lot more attractive. A lot more attractive. And I like a guy that's forward and direct. I love that.
It's like 99% of America.
But they're almost too much.
Yeah.
They're just, I think their view on the world is different to us. And like,
they're very opinionated on a lot of
very
stuff.
opinionated and just I've got a few American friends and I was speaking to one the other day and he was just like, yeah, but you're like 28, you're nearly 30, you need to like settle down right now and have kids right now. Like, why don't you just come over and like, I'll get you a visa and we'll settle down and have kids. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, no one wants an American passport, buddy.
No one wants to be a Yank, all right?
Yeah. But to be honest, as a guy, if I was ever dating in America as an Aussie male, it's like fishing with hand grenades, man. This accent over there, I remember coming back and just being like so like brought down and being like, oh, I'm not special anymore.
You know what the thing is? Yeah, it's like even if you just go, if you're ordering coffee, if you go to Starbucks and order coffee.
Dude, we would say banana wherever we could go because they'd be like, oh my God, they're Australian.
The moment you open your mouth, you can have whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah, because it's banana or car. I like these
or water.
That you can say
water
and they'll just it's the Viagra for Australians.
Yeah, because I went to college over there and I remember
what an experience for you.
Oh, it was amazing. But I remember there was this one class that I was in particular and we had to do.
What college? Everyone's curious.
It was Montclair State University in New Jersey.
No shit.
Do you know Montclair?
Yeah.
Do you?
It's cool. Yeah.
How do you know Montclair?
Because it's like from the football stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's not a huge Ivy League school.
No.
But it's basically on the border of New York, New Jersey. And at the top of our campus, you could basically see the New York skyline.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
New Jersey's the best also.
Oh, New Jersey's beautiful. Anyway, there was this one class that I was in and we had to do a presentation and no one in there knew that I was from Australia. And then as soon as I started talking, because when everyone's doing a school presentation, they're just like heads down on their phone, texting. Yeah. As soon as I opened my mouth, the whole classroom went like this. And then everyone's eyes like, wait, where the fuck are you from? Like, what is going on here? And you just feel like on top of the world because everyone is obsessed with Australians.
Yeah.
Everyone is obsessed. But
I think you go all right with the American dudes too, to be fair.
All right, take me, boys.
Yeah, we should go. I really want to go. My best friend's in New York.
Maybe go Texas.
Oh,
so you get like the more outdoorsy, you get the more outdoorsy kind of fitter guys.
And the guys
that's where Rogan lives. You're fine. Go there.
It's down south, and they're just the more rural you go in America, the better.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's a bit out of
how I deal with that.
That's a bit out of the comfort zone.
You're from the bush. You'll be fine.
But that bush over there is very different. Very different.
Well, do we want to go on the stories?
stories.
Some dating stories that we've
What's
had.
the worst dating story you've ever had, or like dating experience you've ever had?
Probably that one where the guy didn't talk. Worst dating stories. I have not gone on a date that was that awful to the point where it's worth talking about, if that makes sense.
I've been on so many. I started a podcast about them.
I know.
Oh my God, tell us what the worst
tell us
one
you
was.
have to
You
tell
had
us the
to-
worst.
So a lot of them came from COVID because when you dated, people had to stay at your house because of that retarded lockdown.
Oh my
rule.
God,
Yeah.
yes.
So the one that was the most traumatizing was someone who we've spoken for a few days. She'd just been divorced. I've obviously just broken up with my partner. And she came from, I can't remember where, it was like a fucking 2-hour drive outside of Melbourne. Anyway, she drove all the way down. I made the mistake of being like, yep, cool, just come straight and park in the driveway, in the garage when you're here. Because we'd even fucking video chatted because you did that as like a little vetting process during that shit. Anyway, she gets in, she comes down, she's like 4 foot nothing. She's probably, I reckon, 18 kilos heavier than her photos.
Oh, stop.
Didn't look like the
Stop.
person that I'd spoken to.
You got catfished hard.
But fully committed to a catfish. She couldn't leave. She was staying at my house. I said, and I even did that. Look, if you want to, I was giving her like no sex vibes at all, right? We ordered pizza from the amazing place down the road.
Did she try and jump your bones?
It got much worse than that. So she starts eating this pizza like you would imagine someone that's that way inclined.
Oh, don't.
And I'm like, I had a bottle of red, and she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna have any pizza?" I'm like, I'm just not hungry.
You've actually eaten it all before I can even get to my first piece.
I couldn't eat because A, I was shocked, and then B, she was just going to town. I was like, fucking Jesus.
Oh, like full gone
So
town.
I've opened the elephant in the room, ironically enough, which was the wine that I'd had, and I started necking this wine.
Stop that.
Anyway, so
You're like,
get
I
a
need to
bit
get
hammered.
blind.
Yeah.
Do you slept with her?
I did a full bottle on my own. And we started talking and stuff. And obviously, push comes to shove, and we wake up the next morning. And she's like, she wanted to get coffee because Roasting Warehouse was open. And I was like, in public with you, but that's really rude. So let's go get a coffee.
Hoping I see no one I know.
And I was that drunk. I was like, you have to drive still. Like, I can't drive to the coffee shop.
Is this the one where you threw up or something?
No, just along those lines. So we go and we get the coffee, and then this is the closest I've come to being raped in my life. Again, downstairs. And then she finally leaves, and I'm on the computer talking to my mates online, and I just smell this like weird kind of not fishy, but not like clean smell
No, don't.
in my upstairs. And I'm like, everyone's like, why are you so aggressive, Noosh? Like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, man. My house fucking stinks. And I told them what happened. And
Stop.
they're like, oh, well, fucking, I don't know, go check the bedroom. And I'm like, I went in, I'm like, no, it's fine. And they're like, I don't know, did you not flush the toilet? Flush the toilet's fine. And then I'm like, I jump back down. I've got 2 candles going here, one in that room,
I'm getting nervous.
and it still stinks. And I've gone, fucking, I don't know what it is, man. So I've gone in, I'm like, I'm changing the
Did you
sheets.
check the
And
bin?
as I go to grab the doona, there is
No.
just a snail trail from the bottom right corner all the way up the center. And it was the bacterial vaginosis spread just all over
Could you
this
not
doona.
smell that when you're having sex with her?
I was a full bottle of wine deep.
But surely you would have got some whiffs.
It's, you know what? It comes like straight away. You know when you get that moment, you're like, that's what all that weird fucking, yeah.
Because bacterial vaginosis is like, you can smell it on women when they've got even just
Clothes
like
on.
clothes on.
I know, man.
Do you know, I was at Derrimut Gym and I went to use a machine and I saw a woman get off it and I could smell it on the chair and I had to go to a different machine. Because that's how bad that is.
No.
And that's why I don't recommend drinking that much. Maybe doing some other stuff we can't on the podcast. But my smell was
my
inhibited
God.
and I couldn't drink. Oh, sorry, I couldn't drink anymore.
All my senses were gone.
And I just... anyway, the kicker is, because we never spoke after that.
Did she try?
Yeah. But I reached out to her afterwards just to touch base, make sure everything was okay and whatever. And this was like 3 days later. And she goes, because of that, I got STD checked the next day.
Yeah, for sure.
The best part about going to the doctors in COVID was literally it was the people that were like with COVID and they wouldn't be in there, or it was people that were getting STD checks because everyone was fucking
Oh my
alone.
God, literally.
And it was literally all people my age just being like waiting for blood tests.
Oh my God.
Anyway, she's like, I've just so you know, I've got chlamydia and you should go and get tested. And I instantly fired back. Actually, I already got tested like right after we slept together and I'm fine. So it's all good. Thank you for letting me know though.
So you used protection or you did not? Can we? Oh my God,
Yeah.
let's talk about this. I've
Yeah.
got another can of worms
Yes.
to dish out.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one likes to wear protection.
Yep. Yeah. Some girls are fine with it though, believe it or not.
What, fine with wearing it?
Dude, with dudes like having it, they'll be like,
I'm trying to say,
I
if
prefer
I'm
dudes
sleeping with a guy
yeah.
for the first time, you're wearing a condom.
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
There's no question about
Do you
it.
know
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
hang on
yeah.
hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, why the fuck
So
do guys not like?
no, so it's not that. It
Why can't
depends
guys
on
have sex with a condom?
Why don't
No, you
they? Why
can.
don't they care as much?
you can. Well, because it's horrible.
Okay, it's horrible, but it disturbs you actually being able to perform.
It
For some
depends. You just get
people.
the ones that don't have the numbing agents, and you're fine. So that's a fun fact for the dudes that are worried about them at home. Some have numbing agents, and some don't.
Oh, I didn't
so
know
you get
that.
condoms without numbing agents because some idiot decided in a fucking condom fucking design place
Yeah.
that some dudes come too fast, right? So if you put a numbing agent, dudes last longer. But the majority
Who
of
the
guys with
fuck
a
invented
condom,
that?
it reduces the sensation anyway.
And
so
then
you don't
they
need a
just-
numbing agent on top of fucking a condom. And it's something like 85% of condoms now have numbing agents built into
Okay,
them.
Wow.
so
Yeah.
my question is, because there's been situations in which you have to force a guy to wear one.
Oh, no, that should never be the case. No. It's a conversation you had before.
But so obviously I disagree, as in I don't let them get their way, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's,
But
but it should always be a conversation.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But this must be why there must be like such a prevalence of STIs because so many girls
Yep.
don't feel confident to say that.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas like so many girls are like, oh, like they feel uncomfortable to be like, but I want you to wear a condom.
Yeah.
And then the guys kind of like get their own way with not wearing a condom.
And you know what's even more fucked up?
I
is
hate that.
because there's also a couple of STDs that guys are the carriers of, but don't get any.
Herp derp. Yeah, it's herp.
Yeah, don't get any side effects,
Symptoms. Yeah.
symptoms or side effects from it, but
Yeah.
they carry it and they give it to women,
I
and they
agree.
just puff passing this
And I
STD
think
on.
that's, it's something like 60% of people have
It's-
herpes now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like 60%.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked.
60% have
Yeah,
herpes.
it's crazy. They reckon by like 2030 it's going to be like 75 to 80%.
Are you fucking
It'd be
kidding?
wild. No.
Because people don't
Yeah.
wear protection.
Yeah. But the plus side, once it gets to 100%, then fucking everyone has it.
Do you know what I think about? Do you remember that conversation we had about whether we think most guys are gay or not, or have a gay side in them?
Oh,
You know what sits in the back of my head
yeah,
is
yeah.
like, imagine having unprotected sex with a guy that's just fucked another guy the night before. And
Well,
then
the
it's like,
chances now are more than ever.
I know.
Yeah. But look, that's the AIDS
I'm
thing.
going to stay not dating.
No. So AIDS is not a thing anymore. It's completely treatable. It's not
Yeah.
like it doesn't get to the point where you're like
It's not going to kill you.
dying and like all
Yeah.
that sort of shit. That's not a thing. It's fine.
It's not going to
Like,
be an easy E situation.
It's a stigma. Yeah, exactly. Where they injected him with blood.
Straight
like,
up,
no,
gum.
dude.
What a
God.
conversation this has led to. Anyway, go.
But so back to the STD stuff and condoms and whatnot. It should very much be a conversation you have with someone way prior to having sex. You know, kind of how many people that they've slept with and you've slept with in terms of like recent partners. It's always kind of something that if I know something's the vibes there and whatnot, I try to not have sex be as spontaneous as it can be. Like it will still be, but not. You want to have a smart conversation. This
Yeah.
happened as I got older too. When I was younger, it was just like condoms
That's what
fine,
I mean.
whatever.
What about like
What if it's like
Yeah.
a one night stand type thing, or like you've
Yeah,
this is like the second or third time that you've slept with them?
yeah. I don't want to die, so I'm gonna use a condom.
this is like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
And
surely
how do you? Sometimes you can't. Like I know for me, I have a massive issue. This is one of my red flags. Massive issue with trusting people. So
Yep.
if I've slept with someone, like this is the fourth or fifth time that I've slept with them,
Mm.
how do I know that they're not sleeping with anyone else?
Yeah.
They could just tell me that they're not sleeping
Yeah,
with anyone
yeah,
else just to
but you're
have
not-
sex.
but
Yeah.
it's not
So
genuine.
as I got
Yeah.
older, I could pick when people were lying about that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. When I was younger,
Yeah, I can pick
I
that.
was so terrified of having kids. To be honest, I was always
This
like,
is the
"That's
thing too.
fine." Yeah.
Guys are more terrified about impregnating a woman
Yeah.
than
Yeah, but the
actually
only way
catching
to
an
fix
STD.
that is to have condoms, and then just
Yeah.
don't tell them that you like. Even if you are on the pill or whatever, just tell them that you're not.
Yeah.
And you won't have to worry about that
exactly.
conversation
Exactly.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of guys out there that just
Want to get you pregnant, Kayla? Lock
just
you
trying to get
down.
you-
I would want to have
pregnant.
my babies too.
Yeah. So look, it is not as fun, and it's almost not worth. But
Are you somebody who do you think you'd be worse with a condom on? Like, do you feel like your performance is better without?
so if I had to get condoms in a pinch, I couldn't guarantee
That
because
you'd
it's got a
get it
numbing
up.
agent. No, it would.
Oh.
But then now that I know there's numbing agents and stuff, and you can tell there's a numbing agent,
Placebo.
the type of sex changes, and I can't have sex the way that I would have sex. So it does become a more like weirder, like porny type, like jackhammer weird shit,
Yeah, right.
as opposed to like a more organic, like kind of close sex, because you're literally like, if the numbing agent's on there, like it's actually on there, and it numbs the sensation, and you've got the condom, you've got like 8.5, 9 minutes before it's like wet noodle, like because
Yeah, you have
it
to
can
work
be
twice
some
as
of them
hard.
can be so ridiculous if you don't need it and you're so sensitive to all that sort of stuff anyway, mate. You're just like, well, that was ridiculous.
How have I never known there was numbing agents in condoms?
Yeah, but it was a thing that was like used to be advertised, and then for some reason at a certain point, a lot of them don't even have. You have to look on the back for them. And because I've been in a relationship forever, I don't even know what the fucking numbing.
That's what I
agents
mean.
are,
Because
but-
usually, if you're in a long term relationship, you're
Yeah.
not wearing them, right?
Yeah. Oh, but that's the thing is like you use them when you want to be naughty sometimes. Like it's you still have them.
You use them when you want
Yeah.
to be naughty.
Yeah.
A condom.
Yeah. Well, because most of the girls that I've dated can't be on the pill.
Oh.
No, but if you're in a long term
Yeah,
relationship,
you want to bust inside. Like you're fucking not gonna fucking
I know what you're
roll
saying.
the dice.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
maybe.
I guess if when you're in prep and you lose your period, it's different.
That's-
You can just you're definitely just not
That's
getting
it.
pregnant.
You've got your
We
own
want to
contraception.
we want to promote safe sex, obviously, on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Always.
Promote safe sex and promote the conversations. So get to know, like you can start probing about a person's sexual history before they even understand what you're doing. Getting a vibe for who they are and like how they date and stuff. The Instagram's a big one. Like if you can tell the kind of people they're hanging around and it looks like a fuckboy or like a kind of fairly open. Like I've got a lot of friends now that are kind of hippie-ish. I would definitely be strapping up with anyone that's ever slept with anyone in that social group.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you want to just do it to do it, I guess the way I've always
It's just
dated.
such a big gamble.
The way
And
I've always
people
dated
lie.
is I aim
Yeah.
for more of a social connection, strong connection with someone.
Yeah.
If it's a one night stand, it's no question.
Of course.
Yeah.
But guys, there's definitely been times for me
Yeah.
where a guy has not wanted to use one. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're joking.
And you know what
Yeah,
the thing is too, it's like, because I've been in situations where I've had one night stands and haven't won it.
Yeah.
And the next day you just feel so disgusted
You
and
do.
angry with yourself because you're
Yeah.
like, why did I
Why
Yeah.
did I do that?
Why did I do that?
But so like a big portion of that too is don't ever talk negatively about yourself in a situation where you felt pressured. You will get to a point where you're more comfortable and strong enough to say something, but because you didn't, doesn't mean that you're a piece of shit or you've opened yourself up to any sort of risk. Someone pushed that on you and you didn't feel safe enough to say something.
But then
That's
it's
my
also
point.
like,
Yeah.
but
This
it's
is my
also
point.
like, it's like, be more stern with that. Like
Yes,
that's
you
where,
can.
that's
That's
where
what
I
I'm-
get angry because
that's
I'm
what
like,
I'm saying.
put your foot
Yeah.
down. This is
Yeah.
your health at the end of the day. Put your foot down. That's why I beat myself up because I'm like, you're
Yeah.
putting yourself at risk. You have a voice. Fucking
Yeah.
say no.
Yeah.
But it can scare, like, because a lot of people aren't that strong.
But this is what I mean. Yeah. We are. Like,
Yeah.
I know for a fact, like, I'm no questions asked. Like, you want me? You wear a
But
condom,
there's
right?
been times, but there's
Yeah.
probably been times you've been in where you've said no.
That's right. But that's why I
Yeah.
want to give like advice because there's a lot of girls out there who don't have that voice.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of girls out there who don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
doing that. And therefore, there's so many people having unprotected sex
Yeah.
because they don't have that voice to say, wear a condom.
Yeah.
Or you're caught up in the
The moment.
moment.
But that's a big thing too, right? If you're a caught up in the moment kind of person, it's one of those things where you really need to be like, this is going to happen. I'm very much spontaneous and all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna need to force the condoms.
yeah.
Unless you can draw it out to where you can kind of have the conversation where it's just the two of you or whatever, and you feel comfortable enough to do that because you feel more connected with them or whatever.
Yeah.
Do that, but don't ever pull it short because you feel like you're stuck in a corner or whatever. Just don't have sex, man. Like,
Yeah. Just don't
honestly,
have sex
like,
because you get pregnant and you'll
it's-
die.
it's shit. No, like I have some friends that have gotten some stuff that you can't get rid of
Yeah.
from people they've been dating.
That's the thing.
And
Like
it's like-
this can
but it's-
happen.
Lying,
Yeah.
as you say.
This can happen even when you fully trust someone. You can be
Yeah.
in a relationship with someone and you can get something.
Yeah.
You can get something.
Yeah. But look, and in defense of the people that have the things, they might not know they have it and it can flare up or whatever and they're not fully aware or whatever, all that sort of shit.
Get checked
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah. So when you change
whether you're
partners
in
and
or
stuff
in
and-
and out of a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's, I was so paranoid as a human that it was like literally, even with condoms and stuff, I was still getting checked afterwards. Because especially in COVID, you had nothing to do but sit in your house and be like,
It's
I don't know,
true
man.
that you
I don't
would
know.
have
Like-
definitely.
and the thing is, as a guy, like if the sex is a little bit more kind of intense, like you can hurt shit and be like, clearly I've got AIDS. I've got AIDS. And you're like, no, man, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like you're fine.
Yeah.
But just go and do it. Like I will say, doctors get weird when you get it a lot.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
fucked up.
Yeah.
They get
It's-
really weird.
they-
To guys too.
No. It's
Maybe
actually
because they're like, why is this fat guy getting so much pussy? Like it makes no sense.
I remember my doctor, like I was
They
getting
make you feel uncomfortable. Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
6 month regular checkups just to get checked up.
just
Like,
cause.
just
cause
cause.
you should.
And she used to make me feel so shit about myself. And
I've
like,
started saying shit to them because I borderline hate doctors now.
yeah.
I mean, like, I would say, I'd be like, what you're doing right now with it, because when I asked for it, I'm like, they're like, oh, but what have you done? We don't need to ask questions. I'm like, I've fucked someone without some shit and I need to get a test because it's fucking weird.
And I don't need you to be my
Yeah.
mother here. I
Yeah.
just need you to test
Like,
me
here I
and
am.
shut your mouth.
I'm here doing the right thing, looking after myself. Why should I
Yeah.
feel shit for it?
It's
Yeah.
like the government's going to cover it. Shut the fuck up. You get paid. I'm going to fucking pay whatever the bullshit is because it's not all covered by Medicare anymore. And I'm going to wait 3 days and shit myself and then get the results and it's fine.
And
Like,
I'm already
what a
embarrassed.
catch.
I'm already embarrassed about being here. Like, don't make me feel even worse about myself.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh,
So that's,
worst.
and if you have a doctor that does that, fucking just move to someone else.
Yeah.
It's time to get a
You're
new
not gonna
doctor.
be
Should we move on to wait? What?
Yes.
How are we going for time? Is that it? An hour 40?
Hour 45.
Uh,
Do you want to
good.
pull the thing there? It just happens, see?
Let's move on to our
Let's wrap up
rapid
this.
fire. How many have we
Do you want me
got?
to read them for you guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are we all partaking in this?
Okay, we're going to all play.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know how to fix this.
Candlelit dinner or adventurous outdoor activity for a date?
Dinner.
Adventure.
Wait, is this a first date?
Yeah, first or
This is the first time you're meeting someone.
activity.
Too many questions. Dinner.
Dinner. Yeah. Emotional connection or physical attraction as a priority in a relationship?
Emotional connection.
Emotional
Physical,
connection.
then emotional for me. I need to be into them, but then I also
Yeah,
need,
that's
I need both.
Yeah, that's very true.
Very
yeah,
true.
physical then what? Physical emotion. Quality time together or spontaneous surprises from your partner?
Both.
Yeah,
Quality
can you
time.
ask for both?
No, it's one or the other. Quality time.
Quality time.
Yeah.
Foreplay or direct approach? You're right a
Foreplay?
lot.
Surely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, who would ever say direct approach?
The guy.
No. So sometimes, like, are you talking about fucking or?
Yeah.
Don't
Or
just slip it in.
No, but sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
Take me on a journey.
Yeah, no, but like sometimes it's hot to be very spontaneous and in the moment.
But
Like-
don't just slip it in.
No,
But you have to you have to kiss
But
as
sometimes, yes, no, but like sometimes it's always foreplay, and it's nice to break it up and just have like spontaneous, just like
Yeah.
"Ah,"
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
every now and
Oh,
then. is the
yeah.
If
best.
you wake up and you start kissing and then it's just like,
Yeah.
pop it in.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
But I would call that spontaneous. I wouldn't
Yeah.
call that foreplay.
Yeah,
I'd
true.
call that
That's
spontaneous.
actually meh.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got me thinking now.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but that's what I mean. See, sometimes spontaneous is good because you usually get foreplay.
True. Guy sleeping over or leaving after a sexual encounter?
Depends what kind of guy they
I
are.
love it when they stay and cuddle me.
I do love a little
Yeah.
check a cattle. Give me
I
a cattle.
definitely need cuddles.
Yeah.
That
No,
leads to the next one.
I always want it to feel like you should stay,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
horrible when you want them to leave and they stay.
yeah.
I think there's nothing worse than if you just have sex and then leave. Like
Yeah, nah, it's not
Nah.
good. Not good. Not good.
cuddling all night or having some space to sleep comfortably.
Space to sleep comfortably.
Cuddle first, then when they turn into an inferno because you date gym girls and they're just too hot, you're like fucking
Yeah.
face.
But I'm like, when that's the case, then my foot has to be touching you. Like I'm a physical touch
me,
person.
touch
I have
me
to be touching you all
always.
night.
Yeah, I do that with my back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Morning sex hour now. No.
Yay.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Dated a girl who hated the morning breath, so that was the worst long-term relationship I've ever
Oh
had.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. Thank God she's out of the picture.
True.
Public display of affection or keeping intimacy private?
Public's good, but
Yeah.
if it's not full on, you know.
Yeah.
I think if the other person feels that stoked to be with you, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
It can be hot. Where are we? Long-term commitment or casual dating? Long-term commitment.
Long term,
Engaged.
I think.
Who came up with
Long
these?
term, yeah.
Taking the lead or enjoying a partner who takes charge?
Love a partner who takes charge.
I like
Yeah, me
balance.
too.
I like balance.
Yeah, I like a guy who takes charge.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
That is
We're done.
All
Is
right.
that everything?
I cannot believe how long that went for.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to go through these. I
So that's
found
why I
some
think
like
wine on your podcast more often.
yeah, absolutely.
Next
I
time.
think we'll do these
We're
ones
done.
next time.
Done.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
That's it.
And this has been probably our longest episode. It's an hour and 40 minutes. So
Welcome.
like always, if you've been here to the end, thank you so much. And we just want to say how much we love and appreciate all your feedback. It means so much to us. Every time you guys reach out to us on Instagram or anything, we love it so much.
I
So-
cannot believe how many positive comments we've received.
Yeah.
We are
So good.
loving it.
Yeah,
We are
it just
really
makes
loving
us feel so good.
We feel like we're giving purpose. We love it.
We love it. But if this resonated with you and you feel like it'd be beneficial or you had a laugh or you loved it, post on Instagram and tag us.
Yeah. See you later.
See you later.
See you
See you next
guys.
week. Bye.
Bye.